Welcome to the Fans Perspective. It's Boogie 45. Got my boy JD in here and my boy Bogey. How y'all boys feeling, man?
Everything good, big bro.
Yeah, man, slow motion in the big old ocean.
Yes, sir. All right, we gonna jump right into this joint, man. Let's see. Jack Daugherty robbed in LA. I'm just play a little clip from it.
Drive for $300,000 worth of my diamond chains. Pretty cooked. So fun.
Y'all hear it?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And I'm being pushed like this. Some other guys going at my watch, and I'm like trying to fucking fight him off. And then so four dudes, they push you against the wall like instantly, and just one took your chain. Somehow, like one's holding you. Like we're all here, like five of us are right here, or six of us are right here. Me, Dave, Christy, and the four guys. And then next thing I know, Dave and two of the guys are there. And then one of the guys chased me around the fucking street trying to get my watch off. So you went fully across the street. And then the other guy's like, nah, we got the chains. And then the other guy stopped chasing me. Jack Daugherty's cooked, all right? I just got robbed.
Let me see. There's another one with his.
Bro, he just robbed me. They took both my chains, bro. Dog. Dave, what the bro?
They had a gun.
Where's yours? What the bro, he just robbed me.
Yo. So what y'all boys feel about that, man? You see how they had his shirt, man? They try to rip his shirt off.
I mean, you can't be walking around stunting like that with a quarter ticket worth of jewelry on you if you don't got like legit security, and especially if you kind of square it up like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another clip. It's another clip where bruh say they was trying to steal his watch too. They didn't get the watch or the bracelets on everything. They was really out there trying to strip little bruh 100%.
They was trying to take his shirt too. They're like, his shirt's Versace or something. Like,
Be that shirt, man.
running them shoes too, man.
Now
he asked the security, where was your gun at?
yeah, but this the thing, right? I don't understand, like, how you go out to LA with all that jewelry on and you hire security, you don't make sure the security's armed?
Yeah, like and like the security, like how do we know security didn't line him up? You feel me?
Yeah, that too. But the thing is, like, okay, there's some people, their gun is not legal in all 50 states.
Yeah, the guard's card to carry or whatever it is.
Not the New York or Cali, they would have to call the police and like check in with them and say, okay, I have a registered firearm. I'm bodyguarding for such and such, and to be able to carry it, whatever the case may be. But if they have a legitimate job, they show, okay, I'm a bodyguard. He just didn't go through. For you to be more roaming around LA and this dude worth all this money, and you ain't got no gun. I don't. What kind of security is that? Or was that back door open? Was the back door just swinging open? Like
one of my things is like, right, in order to get the gun permit to be a security, you got to do a lot of extra stuff in order to get that. So when you have that type of permit, the fee is a little bit higher. So maybe little bruh was like, man, look, I'm gonna just save some money and go ahead and, you know what I mean? Or
he spent all his money on the jewelry, huh?
It ain't no telling, because, he asked him, where's your gun at? So if he paid that fee for bruh to be hammered up, then something's definitely fishy. 100%.
Unless he's ignorant, and like whoever he booked, he just assumes that the security that he booked is able to carry. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm a millionaire, right? If I'm a millionaire, it's no way that I'm gonna, and I'm a millionaire and I'm a public figure, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that my security is not gonna be armed. If you can't be armed in 50 states, I don't need you doing security for me.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to carry wherever you go, not 48 out of 50.
Remember 50 Cent? What was he doing? Yeah, he's like, fuck it, give me a police escorts.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking with me. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, like that's the thing. Like, I don't know what kind of rinky-dink security he hired, but you know, and
That's
then
the thing right there. That's the thing. He was moving sloppy. He thought, bro, he thought he was good with that big 6'7" dude, and you know, he moved sloppy by not doing his homework on the security's background. 100%.
Can I ask a question? This is a dumb bogey question. Who is Jack Dorsey?
Oh, he a streamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he one of them ones that got a big
His
bag.
brides is OnlyFans girls.
Okay. Wow. Good for him.
A content house.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So, you know, but and my thing is like this, right? So you might feel like, okay, well, I'm in downtown LA, so ain't no need to carry a gun. Like what? Man, listen, I remember, there was cats back in the days that used to go from my city to Manhattan, look in a hoop ride, looking for a lick in the city.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jump out on you, get everything off you, get in the V. They back to where they come from.
Yeah, in San Jose, downtown San Jose, that was the premier place to party. You had all the clubs and bars. There's like 30 plus clubs and bars combined. You know what I mean? So yeah, and everyone from Oakland, Frisco, people was coming down, and like you could get in the parking lots everywhere. Where, you know what I mean? But in the clubs and the little side streets, everybody used to get booked over there. You know what I mean? Don't get caught in one of the parking lots. Book your ass. And now it's like the bipping is getting in San Jose too now. You know what I mean?
It's real.
I mean, that's where the nice cars are, right? You got to go where the nice things are sometimes, especially if you in the bipping. You know what I mean?
How you got $300,000 for a chain, but you don't got good security? Like, I don't get that.
He might have even posted that he was going out. Yeah, posted his fit.
Well, yeah. On one of the clips, it said he's live on Party. Now, I don't know if Party is the streaming site that he used, but on one of the clips, he said, "Yeah, I'm cook woo. He's live on Party though, 100%." You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Multiple videos of him getting pushed up on by other motherfuckers while he recording 100%. But it had the police there. In order for bruh to get the insurance policy on that on them jewels, he need to make a police report out. So
that's fact.
For sure. You know what I mean? But you got $300,000 jury on, and you don't got security that's armed. You don't even make sure he armed. You don't even make sure. You just like, so what, you got a handler that goes and handles that? Like, nah.
Yeah, that's a bad fire the handler now.
I mean, even if I had a handler, I see my security. I'm like, yo, you got that on you? No. Yo, you got to get up out of here, man.
I mean, especially if they
I'm good by myself. Then, if that's the case,
for real,
what, they gonna rob you with hands? No, they gonna back that thing out to come rob you. Like, what you mean?
That's what Press said. He said once he had that gun, I had to back up. Oh my mother.
But it's like homeboys. But he was like, "Where's your gun at?" I'm like, "Wasn't you supposed to make sure of that before you hired him on as security?"
Well, y'all left the house.
Or wasn't he supposed to, or even if he been your security, wasn't he supposed to inform you that he wasn't armed?
Hey,
and not going out with all that jewelry on?
What's Brad Tory Lanez? You ever hear about Tory Lanez? They say he was always wilding, like he would tell his security, "Let me hold the gun," and he'd be like, "Hell no." You know what I mean?
Nah.
Like Tory Lanez was wilding though. You gotta let me hold the gun.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But anything going out on this, man? Because I mean, this is self-explanatory to me.
Yeah, this is some dumbass shit. Man, people find a way to get rich, but they sure don't know how to do regular common sense shit.
For real.
Yeah, you definitely, the way, if you walking with a house on your neck, bro, you know what I mean, and he's not known for the activities to be able to, you know what I mean, defend himself and stuff like that, you definitely got to move a whole lot smarter, and you got the chalupa to be able to do that 100%, whether it's for content or not. And you know what I mean, this thing,
and I'm pretty sure writing off security, you'll be able to write off security, fees up to a degree when you're filing every year. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the business.
Part of the business fee. Part of the business.
What's wrong? Like, this guy is doing it all wrong.
But if you ain't got no ratchet, like, what are you doing? Like, how are you really security? Like, what are you securing? What you gonna jump on the bullet? Like, I don't.
The thing is, you know,
He's gonna jump on the bullet.
the piranhas and the fishes is always hungry, bro. 100%. You know, and there's eyes everywhere, dog. 100%. No matter where you at.
Yeah, and that chain and them diamonds, them chains melted down already, and them diamonds is already being sold on their own loose stones. You feel me?
For real.
Or maybe even some D-boy just like, listen, I'll give you 10. Yeah, there's gonna be some smart D-boys. I'll give you 20 bands for that chain right now, and then they're gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
That ass. Crazy. All right, so to the next topic. Adam 22 and Brick Baby. Let me play this.
Heard it through the grapevine that Brick basically thought that he was going to keep getting paid. That even though he's locked up and he's not able to contribute to the business by being on camera, that he thought that he was just so locked in that he was going to keep getting his monthly pay each month. I'm sorry. I know you guys all saw the No Jumper is Going Broke video. We are not in the best financial state right now. Me paying someone to be in federal prison doesn't really seem realistic. Heard it through the grapevine.
All right, so what's y'all thoughts on that, man?
I mean, you can't spell loyalty without an L.
Yo, this is the thing though. Like,
he's taking that all the way L, thinking that there's gonna be any kind of loyalty to him. He's in there. That's it.
Right. But this is the thing though. Like, right? I don't think because a lot of people was like, you know, looking at Adam sideways, but this is the thing I don't get, right? All right, so you bring Brick Baby on, right? Regardless of what, there was a benefit on both ends, right? There's a benefit from Adam's side because, you know, he gets, you know, Brick Baby's tapped in on another level and he can more relate to the guests that he bring on the show, especially if they from the street, right? And then on the flip side, you know, he's getting a check from Adam and he's getting his name known. So if he builds his name up and gets his clout up, then he could branch off and start his own platform, you know, and continue to build his brand or, you know, whatever the case may be, right? So there's a benefit on both sides, but like, why does Adam have to be responsible for him now that he's locked up though?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, if he was an employee too, things like incarceration usually terminates your employment.
Look, if you work for somebody, right, and you get locked up, they not coming to bail you out of jail.
Yeah, you get terminated or suspended until further notice, which is
depending on your relationship with them, you know, and what you do, you know, they'll hold your job for you for a certain
okay.
You know, depending on what it is and who you work for, whatever the case may be. It's not mandatory, but you know, it's situations where that has happened. But the thing is, they're not mandated to do that, and they definitely not coming to get you out of jail. So why do people look at Adam 22 and feel like he's supposed to have more of a responsibility when it comes to, you know, the people that he brings on and their legal situations?
He definitely went out of his way and put that video out not too long ago about their financial situation being bad, just to be like, see, I let y'all know. We don't even have money to pay.
But even if his financial situation, even if that wasn't the case though, like how is he responsible for sending Brick money while Brick is locked up? Like, how does he, because like I said, if you work for somebody and something happens to you on the legal side, you know, they not coming to your court dates. They not sending you bail money or bond or commissary money. They not doing any of that.
Yeah, he didn't do none of that for
hold your spot. Depending on what it is, they may hold your spot. They may not. You know what I mean? That's it. But it's just business to them. It's not. There's no personal relation there.
He did all the same thing for Crip Mac. He the lack of anything. He didn't, you know, once Crip Mac went in, that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it a video or something where Brick's saying that he feels like he should still be getting paid?
Let's see.
I think so.
Because in my opinion, if you know, because something went wrong between them two, right? And we all know that Brick has been dropping phone calls from the motherfucking federal pen.
Yeah.
So if they was in good standings, even though them phone calls is on Brick's channel, they might have blew up even more on the No Jumper channel. So that's still making content. You feel me? Still being an employee, whether you behind bars or not. I'm calling, dropping the phone calls on your shit in so many words. But also the last phone call that was uploaded to his shit was 11 days ago. And on the first one, he like, look, my lawyer said I could whooping. So now I'm thinking the lawyer said no to everything. Because remember, it also, we was talking about this though, Slim, and it also said that one of these things is that if Brick do come home, the feds don't want bruh up there, you know what I mean? And Adam Lightweight took offense to that. So like I said, it's they're not seeing eye to eye, because the phone calls, the 4 phone calls that's on his page, them might have boomed even harder on the No Jumper shit as content. You feel me?
I mean, yeah, it could have boomed as content, but Adam was explaining in the video, because I don't see nothing from Brick saying anything, just of yet. But Adam was explaining in the video that he let Brick borrow money before he got locked up.
Well, so that's what that was. So when he bailed him out when he caught the AK case.
Yeah. So that's,
and he didn't never ask for that money back, and bruh just kept coming up there to make content. You know what I mean? And ain't never mentioned.
I didn't know that part.
Boom. So Adam said,
paying bruh too. He's paying him to come up there and make content though.
Huh?
He's paying him to come up there and make content.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that Adam said that as they continue to make content, he just never tripped off of it. 100%. He said he never tripped off that. It's we could, damn, I don't know.
What do you think his bail was though at that time, or his bond, like 20, 25?
Well, it was only 5 bands, so it's probably a 50.
See, there you go.
See, that's the thing though. Like, right? See, they might have already been on, bruh, because if it was the AK case, and if it's a $5,000 bond, or you only paid $5,000 to get out, or his portion was only $5,000,
yeah, that means it was like 50,000.
It might have been 10,000 to where it was a $100,000 bill, but on an AK case, you're not getting no $50,000 bill. 100, that's what I don't. I mean, it don't sound right.
No, you ain't lying. And at the same time, it is on record that Brick's he's been tapped for the last couple of years. So there's several conversations that they got him for. Like, he's in there on his own shit. He's not a part of the. He got a different charge for. He's not part of the whole Big U RICO. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
I mean, Adam also talks about that though too, though, about the AK situation and how he gave him the guap, and then he never tripped off it, and then another situation happened about some Guccini, and it went kind of bad, and that's why bruh started.
The one where he was trying to sell interviews.
I don't think he brought that situation up, but okay. I remember that's what DW Flame was saying.
Yeah.
Or
that
somebody
was like, "Look, I get you on for 10 bands."
I take that back. That might have not been DW Flame exactly who said that, but that's around that time that they
when Flame was there.
Yeah. Adam is not gonna overextend himself. If he does a favor, it's just that. But I don't think that people should expect that out of him every single time. You know what I mean? Like, he might say, "Okay, I'll bring you on," and then he brings you on. Numbers start going up. You're doing good interviews, and then something happens. You got a little, bullshit case or whatever. And then, your bail is whatever, something light. He's like, I'll pay the money just to keep it going, just to keep him out so he can, continue to make content or whatever the case may be. But all, in all reality, he's still going to have to fight that case. But hopefully maybe the money that he makes from here, he can take it to put it toward his legal fees or whatever the case may be. But you can't expect Adam to pay for your legal fees, or none of that stuff is mandatory when it comes to business.
No,
dealing with the personal life is not mandatory.
I agree with you, unless they really locked in like that. Unless Adam chooses to do that for bruh, 100%. You know what I mean? It's his choice if he wants to do that.
If he does that for him, he's gonna have to do that for every guest that gets up on there.
Well, see, that's the thing though. Look at the co-hosts, that he employs. Look at the co-hosts that help make the show boom. They're from that type of culture. You got C-Mac. You had FO Extras that's been in and out. You got bruh that we talking about right now. Multiple co-hosts that you want right there next to you, but they come from a certain place and they have to move a certain way. because of certain circumstances, you know what I mean? And that's what Brad wants 100% when it comes to certain content. That's why he had him right there, you know. It's 7 days a week. I don't know how many shows they do, but 50% of the time it's that type of panel.
Yeah,
you know?
it's somebody from the community.
But the thing is that dudes that come from you know, from the street that's coming on his show, they a dime a dozen. If you really think about it.
I don't agree with that because Crip Mac ain't a dime a dozen, Brick Baby ain't a dime a dozen, Faux Extras ain't a dime a dozen.
That's how he's looking at it. I can always get a street dude to come on here and do street, you know, and talk. I can always get. He's been doing that for years.
I know, but it's certain motherfuckers that stick around he keeps around for a reason. Like he said, T-Rail is one of the ones that he's seen taking off in this shit, bro, because of what he brings to the table. You feel me? That's why he's so mad at T-Rail, because T-Rail ain't on the no jumper side 100%. You know what I mean? And T-Rail comes straight from the community, even though he got background in the industry. You know what I mean? AD got background in the industry, but you on here giving your personality and your opinion. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers is fucking with you just based on that. You know what I mean? Everybody can't do that, big bro. You can tell a story, but that motherfucking story ain't going the delivery might not be cool. The way that you talking might not be cool. Whatever.
He was gonna bring Butter on there before Butter, you know, got locked up.
Yeah, but Butter's a character though. Butter a character on my mouth.
Yeah.
But Butter's still street though.
Yeah, but he a character though. He brings personality to the shit. He got story.
Did Butter rat it too though, right? Didn't Butter like anything on some paper?
What's they call the Chicago sandwiches?
Oh,
the Italian
beef. That's Italian beef and Pepsi. That's Italian beef and Pepsi. That's what they call his ass before he ran it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, that's who they were referring to.
Yeah, he was very transparent. You know, he didn't. I read the files. Like he's very transparent. He tried not to get nobody locked up as far as like directly saying that this person did this or that person did that, but he was very transparent in court. But you know, that's a whole nother story.
I think he was also. I think low key he's tired of being on the losing side. You know what I mean?
I mean, but that's just how it is when type of game. You know, one year this crew might win, the next year this crew might put points on the scoreboard. I mean, you know,
I think I think Brad's tired of being in jail. That's what it is, because the last little go around before he got caught with him and his bride with this pistol. Like Brad was, you know, he was making his name through the circuit. Like you said, Adam was thinking about bringing Brad on. Brad brings something to the table and to be able to get a check out of this, you know what I mean? And that's the same thing like Brick and everybody else that come from this shit. Adam is giving them a check, whatever the check may be. We can argue how much, whatever, is it enough or what, but you getting a legitimate check. That's why, like when me and Slim was talking about the math shit, even though we about to talk about this in a minute, you have to come together like Voltron, bro, in this industry, bro. Fuck relying if you get hired by a big platform, because it ain't yours, bro. They can tell you when to go, bro. And then the shit that you bring to their shit, that's not your intellectual property. That's their shit. 100%. So you got to go 10 times harder once you get your foot in the door, whether it be a big platform or your platform. But man, stay going, bro.
But
I knew it was gonna be. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
A lot of them dudes that come on Adam's show, they don't really come in there with a game plan per se. You know what I mean? They come in
trying to get on.
Yeah, they just trying to get on. They don't come in with game plan. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna do A, B, and C, then I'm gonna go establish my own stuff, and then I'm gonna rock both shows at the same time.
Yeah, like T-Rail. Look at T-Rail. They like when he booted T-Rail, he was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna expedite my plan B now." You know what I mean?
The way how T-Rail did that so fast is like he already had that plan.
Exactly, it was the plan B already. Like, or it might have been his plan A the whole time. This was just part. You know, this was part.
Nah, T-Rail said that once AD said he was going with AD.
Okay.
On my mama.
Once the plan for him to start his own show,
100%. They was booming, bro. They the ones that was bringing this shit to man. Adam loved them dudes, bro. That's why that shit hurt. 100%. AD is on camera saying I would have crashed out for this, bruh. It's multiple times where motherfuckers went to the old spot and AD like, hold on, no, you're not finna do that, bro. They didn't got him up before with people. AD like, man, this is my dude. He really took that shit to heart. Like, bruh, this is my dude. We in here cooking. 100%.
I think dudes got to stop mixing personal feelings with business, so they don't feel like they got, you know, shortchanged.
You know what though, bro? But when you on that grind, like when you on that grind together and you put in multiple hours and y'all locked in, like you built a relationship, you know what I mean? And motherfuckers, where we come from, you know, when we grind together, you know, we don't get money with any and everybody. We can't, because, you know, just weird stuff can happen and we can't allow everybody in our circle. So, you know, AD come into this motherfucker like, bruh, we in this motherfucker cooking every fucking day. We booming, you know what I mean? We locked in, bro. I feel like you my dog 100%. So when Adam got to talking that bull crap behind his back and it got out, like, bro, you really, come on now, what the fuck?
Because it's just business.
That's how Adam looked at it.
It is, because at the end of the day, it's the same thing with the record labels. Like, you know, you a dude assigns you, put you on, you know, and he'll do a great job of making you think that, you know, y'all are really cool. He's just trying to get his value out of, you know, the value out of you, so he can monetize it. So in the end, now when you don't understand certain things about business, he don't tell you certain things. You know, your check come up short or whatever the case may be is the issue business wise. You know, he'll be the first one to tell you like, hey, this is just business. Yeah, you know what I mean? You took it personal. I'm making business.
Well, and there should be certain signs down the journey where it is just business 100%. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But don't, you know what I mean?
It ain't gonna tell you that.
But see, certain situations will remind you that's what it is.
Yeah, it's when a situation come up, then you'll be reminded that that's what it is. But they're not gonna just tell you that right out the gate.
100%. That's why you got to make sure you come into this shit with your own shit.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So, you know, because, you know, Adam 20, you know, he the puppet master. Like, you know, he the puppet master. And for dudes to see that and they still pull up there, he's like a clout guy right now. Because you go on his joint, you're gonna get some clout.
Yeah.
You're gonna get clout. So that's gonna turn into money if you know how to utilize.
Like Flacco is the only one that really boomed by himself outside of that motherfucker, because he stayed dropping. He got shit that come 3-4 times a day, pause, and some of that shit had hit 100K out of the shit that he dropped, you know what I mean? Just on a clip, bro. 100%. You can say what you want to say about Flacco, but motherfuckers is tapped in with him on his personal page, bro. 100%.
Yeah, but see, like, you know, with Adam, for, you know, his whole thing is like, listen, I already know y'all could go ahead and, you know, y'all gonna come here, y'all gonna sit on the platform, y'all gonna do some interviews, whatever the case may be. Y'all gonna want to start your own platform, y'all gonna want to take all y'all traffic over there and things like that. So while y'all here, I'm gonna get as much as I can out of y'all. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Because y'all gonna get what y'all gonna get out of me, and y'all gonna be able to take that and run with it. So I'm gonna get what I gotta get out of y'all while y'all here. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it is with that. Anything going on this one?
Stay building your own empire, man.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be a vicious cycle. You know what I mean? It's really gonna continue until people get tired of Adam 20, the no jumper altogether.
Facts, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
No,
I don't think that's gonna.
And he's good at aggregating, like he'll find the other guys that are doing their thing, then bring them in and you know, kind of weave them into the fabric like a Flacco or like a, you know what I mean? Like, he's always gonna find these other content creators that are gonna be willing to come on and help No Jumper out. You know what I
mean? Definitely. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next topic. Vlad finally apologizes to Farrakhan. Let me play this clip.
I'd like to apologize to Minister Farrakhan for misquoting him back in 2020. Period.
There you go.
No ifs, but, or anything else like that. Point blank, period. This is what I'm doing on your show.
Now that's honorable.
Thank you.
That's honorable.
And also, let me just say, this was not a decision based on pressure by anybody, by financial duress. It's not like I have to do this in order to turn the company around. The company's been doing fine all these years. It's not because I'm trying to get to a certain guest and by doing this and so forth. No, there's no reason behind this except for it's the right thing to do. And I'm fully aware that a lot of people are going to hear this and say, your apology, it's too late. We're not going to accept it, whatever. And that's fine, because this is not for those people. This is something that I felt I should do. And some people will accept it and some people won't. And I'm fully aware going into what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to apologize.
Shout out to Willie D, man. Ghetto Boys, man.
Yep.
Fucking hip hop legends, man.
Shout out to Willie D, man. Now, this is the thing. Yo, one thing. Yo, you ain't got whoever made that short, man. You ain't got to play that whack music in the background.
That is money.
Like, stop the nonsense, man. And the only feature I wish they had on YouTube where you can mute the music, like how you do on Instagram, just watch the video. I don't want to hear your music, bro. Like, for real. All right, so with Vlad, what y'all think about that whole situation, man? Y'all think it's sincere? Like, what's going on?
Can you run me back real quick? What was was it a Jewish versus Muslim comment, or like what did he say?
Nah, like Farrakhan said something at Savior's Day, right? But like what Farrakhan said is not what Vlad thought he said. He misquoted Farrakhan. You understand? So he made it seem like Farrakhan was like trying to encourage people to get at Jews. You know what I mean? And it was like, nah, that's not what was said. You know, so there was plenty of people that clarified what was said. And you know, because Vlad, if you watch that interview, Vlad worked with the NOI. They was doing his security detail for years.
It was kind of like scripture based about just trying to uplift the people, kind of like.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, seeing exactly what he said, but I can't just tell you, you know, the dialogue, but it was something like a scripture trying to uplift the people. And bruh tried to make it seem like like Slim said, he was trying to make people attack that. And it wasn't that, bro, 100%.
And you know what, too? Now I do remember this, because this has been a minute ago. Because then people like Lord Jamar and like Godfrey and a lot of his regulars, at the even what's bro, the Crip Cuz bro, Long Beach,
Trey D,
even Trey D stopped coming around for a minute. Trey D's back now in the rotation, but there was a moment, and it was all because of the Farrakhan thing, supposedly, like that. They were just, you know, like,
especially with Godfrey and the other bro that you mentioned.
Yeah, Lord Jamar.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, because like it was clarified to him what was actually said, and he wanted Farrakhan to come on Vlad and sit down with him, and then he'll apologize to him. And I'm like, well,
clout.
First of all,
yeah,
people can't even get close to Farrakhan like that.
No, hell no.
Then second of all, why should he have to come on your show because of something that you misquoted? If anything, you should be going on the public platform that you on and apologize to him. I shouldn't have to come on your show to get an apology.
I agree.
That was great arrogant. You know what I mean?
And I will say, it's hard to feel that Vlad's sincere about like a lot of shit. Like I just don't, you know what I mean? So
I just don't know what his reasoning is for doing it now, because back then it was.
He told you in that statement. He told you why. Everything he said why he wasn't doing it is the reason why he doing it. Because after he said the reason why he wasn't doing it, he said, motherfuckers gonna say, well, Vlad, this 5 years later, you motherfucking right, it's too late, bro. And everything you said, the reason why you wasn't doing it, in your mind, that's why you doing it. 100%, bro.
Remember the Kaepernick taking a knee? you know, he was real clear about what it stood for. And then like, you know, the media get to running the narrative that he's like against the military and this, you know what I mean? And it's funny because even though people kept re-clarifying it, they still continued to run with this narrative. And like, you know, it's funny because Vlad that's a version of that. You know, he was like misquoting him, you know what I mean? That pissed a lot of people off. And 5 years later, he has a 5-year sample size. And he, even though he points out, oh, it didn't really hurt me financially and this and that, he probably did see that some people weren't fucking with him. And he, you know what I mean? He rubbed the wrong, he went in on the wrong one.
100%, bro. And
like
didn't
people fuck with Farrakhan.
He was so arrogant not to acknowledge it for 5 fucking years, bro. Exactly. You blatantly fucked up. Admit your fuck up and let's move on.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you know. I just felt like it wasn't that you. It's not like you misunderstood something. You misquoted something.
100%.
If you misunderstood something, then that could just be the way you perceive, you know, what was said. But you misquoted it. That's not what you're saying. He said is not what he said.
Right. You know. And then another thing, like, right. And if it was more scripture based with what Farrakhan said, you know, we all are, you know, have been into the word before, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody interprets the word, you know, differently, 100%. So if Vlad was something like that, you know what I mean, and was a historian or whatever of the word, then he could have been like, oh, okay, well, let's talk about this, you know what I mean, and let's have a discussion about it. But he, like you said, Slim, he fucking misquoted him and stood with the misquote when other motherfuckers that he's had around him on a daily basis tell him it's not that, bro.
Exactly. That was my issue, because I feel like the apology right now it doesn't even matter at this point, you know. But like, what am I gonna get out of that? That's like somebody put a rumor out about you, you know, and 5 years ago, and now they want to apologize. I don't want your apology. Just stay where you at.
Yeah, I don't even want to see that motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't want your apology. Just stay where you at. Like, for what?
Man, the motherfucking officers for that shit that I got recorded on there, they tried to apologize to me after they let me go. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. You should just embarrass me in front of all of my coworkers, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Lawsuit.
Come on now, oh my mama, man. Like, your story is not gonna do nothing, bro. Oh my mama.
Yeah, that's
crazy, bro.
That's just crazy. You know, I don't know. I ain't really, you know, it didn't really have nothing to it. It was just like, okay, you know, like what is that supposed to do now? You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy. You know, but hey, that's what it is.
Yeah.
DJ Vladimir.
And like, it's just so crazy because even that apology, it was mad scripted to me. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in. This is how I'm gonna phrase it. You know what I mean? Even to the point in my version, it's Vlad who's like, go ahead and when you clip this, go ahead and throw some of the pianos in the background. really make me feel like I mean it.
And I just thought of this, right? Usually Vlad only really work with Adam, right? He's on Willie D shit. So he's making some podcast rounds right now. He's talking about, maybe he said that, oh, my business is still doing well. The numbers are still there, but you making the rounds now. You trying to interact with other podcasts, you know what I mean?
Well, where's Willie D at right now as far as subs go?
Well, I want to say in Houston, but I don't know. I mean,
no, I'm talking about like hit subs wise, because
he got great content. He's had a lot of big names on this platform.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing that Vlad always says is like I remember Mav when he finally did a Mav shit.
Get up there.
He said, you've been asking me to come on for a long time. I said, when you get to a certain point, then I'll come on, because then it'll be worth for both of us, which is like blatantly honest. But so that's probably why, like, if all of a sudden he's on Willie D shit now. because Willie D definitely, you know, you've been seeing his name circulate. He's getting up there. Like you'll probably see him if Shay Shay wasn't in this shit. You probably would have seen him on Shay Shay at one point. You know what I mean?
Nah, he talked bad about Shay, about the Cat Williams shit. He hated on that boy.
Oh, word. Oh, okay.
Shay wasn't gonna invite that boy up there.
Yeah.
It ain't worth Shay time to interview Vlad.
Nah, you know,
Okay, word.
You know what it is. I think that bothered Vlad about Shannon Sharp situation. I think that the fact that he just jumped on there and just his numbers just automatically went up like every interview he does. Because all right, if you put if everybody put their dislike aside for Vlad, I could kind of see with Vlad how Vlad got a little teed off, right? Because it's like, okay, you see, you done grinded in this lane for like 15, 20 years to get, to where you're at, right? Million subscribers to actually turn it into something real, right?
Yeah.
You see somebody come in from another space, come in to your space, right? It just asks simple questions, and all of a sudden they just get numbers out the world, out the world.
I get it. I get it.
It's like, hold up, like, what's really going on here? You know what I mean? So I think that's what it was with him. I think he kind of felt like Shannon Sharp was kind of like fluffed up.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely hit a spike after the Cat Williams thing. He was already, he was already doing his thing, but and this was something that Shay started doing that particular show after he left the FS1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when you think about it, right? When
he had it during FS1.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like when you think
Word.
when you think about when you watch like the Club Shay Shay show, right? I don't really see what he be asking. Like, he don't really ask questions. I don't really see where his interviewing skills really come in at. I think it's like you just having a conversation.
Well, that's what it's more like. You know what I mean? You got the open
conversation in a drink.
You know what I mean? That's what it basically is. And I'm looking at his shit right now. It say his shit 4 years in the game, and Club Shay Shay episode 1 with him and his brothers. Him and his brother is at 3.2 million views. So the boy has had his grind in this game, and his thing is not real media-based interview like type shit, even though he got a lot of media training, because after he was done playing football, it was straight to analysts on major platforms for sure. He's been on CBS for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Game of football, so he knows how to have a conversation on a high level scale of TV production, 100%. And so
I don't think nothing special was done with the Club Shay Shay show. I think that the work that Shannon Sharp put in on his, like, in the other lanes that he's been in, it spilled over to that.
For sure.
If you like a famous rapper, right? You like 50 Cent, right? Imagine if 50 Cent were to do a podcast right now.
Yeah, I'm listening to it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he's going to get automatic fans from the lane that he was already in, because he's been in entertainment. You see what I'm saying? This is just another leg of entertainment.
I got a thing. So before Cam and them popped off, right? And may Cam mom rest in peace. When Cam, first started his podcast, his mom had passed away. May she rest in peace, and condolences to Cam and his family and friends, 100%. But he's on record, and I forgot who it was, because didn't nobody know that he was going through that. So somebody jumped out the window and was talking about, oh, these rappers trying to start podcasts and woo woo. See, every rapper that do start a podcast, they shit don't boom like that in the podcast industry. There's multiple rappers that have tried to jump into this shit and completely, because even they didn't get the success right off the rip, or whatever the variables may be. This shit ain't.
And then there's Drink Champs. Right. And
then he just end up popping off, because they had something magical, 100%. But my thing is that somebody did say that. I don't know if it was Joe. I forgot what that situation was. But that's my thing, though. It's like, this shit can pop off for you. But even though you got a name, you got to have some type of something for it to keep the audience retention. You know what I mean? Whether it's guest base driven or if it's mainly you or whatever the case may be, 100%.
I think like if you could,
because that club, the nightcap shit, just him and Ocho talking about shit, that motherfucker be having 40,000 motherfuckers in a fucking live. 100%.
I mean, go ahead, Bowie.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like to be innovative in the spaces, that's what's gonna make the longevity. Like Vlad, where he's off the camera and you see the interviewee, and that style, he was definitely the first to make that big, right? Us in the little boxes like this, guys like Ack, he was one of the first to do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, then of course, whenever someone becomes the innovator, there's gonna be all the people that copy it. You know what I mean? Joe Budden was the way where he sits at the table and everything. You know what I mean? That he was the first to do it in that style, right? Now everyone does. Maybe even that was his version of Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe Joe Rogan is the first that you could say of its kind to have these long playing conversational, like, because podcast is so vague now these days, or you know what I mean, or interviews, whatever you want to call it, and like the Shay Shay thing is probably as close to a conversation in cognac. What is this thing he calls it? Where there is no real questions he's asked. And that's really all the intro.
Saying, like, Vlad's looking at it like, yo, that's not even real journalism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, because listen, what I'm saying, like, when you come in this space and you don't come in this space with connections and this and that and all of this stuff, or you already been in another lane in the entertainment business already, when you come in here just straight up, like how we're walking in here, you have to put in 10 times the work that somebody that's coming from the entertainment business getting into this space has to put in, because they're coming in here with fans already.
Yeah,
you don't really have to. Because when I've watched like a few episodes of Club Shay Shay, I don't see what the big
deal is.
I don't see the big hype.
You know.
And I'm not
even really watching the Shay Shay shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even no hater, nothing like that. I'm not watching it with a critical eye. I just don't see the big hype. I see the highlights of like, okay, the Cat Williams conversation. You know what I mean? I've seen the highlights of certain things that he said or whatever the case may be. But I've seen Cat Williams on Joe Rogan. He was talking the same way.
Yeah.
So the Cat Williams interview, I did watch the whole thing of that interview, but there's maybe a few interviews on Club Shay Shay that I have watched the entirety of 100%, because we have broken them down on certain podcasts before. But the way that I consume this shit is on the clips 100%. I'm not checking for every episode and just it's so captivating that I have to watch the whole episode. Nah, fuck that. If it's somebody on there that I want to watch the whole interview, just like certain other podcasts, like when Charleston White was on Cam Newton shit, I watched that entirety. That one was a damn good interview.
I like what Charleston White did on there, because he kept trying to defend like certain, and I'm like, bruh, like,
that's how I like to consume my shit. You know what I mean? And that goes for a lot of shit though. If it's a certain interviewee that I want to know their story and whatnot, I'm gonna go watch the whole joint. Other than that, man, that shit gonna be in clips, bro.
I'm not even gonna hold you. A lot of celebrity podcasts I don't really watch, bro, because they're interviewing a lot of the same people. Some people I don't even want to hear. I don't want to hear about them. You know what I mean? It's just strictly guests. I like podcasts that are interesting, you know what I'm saying, that go into all kind of different things. Like Joe Rogan is more of like somebody that I would watch. I've seen a lot of clips and videos from his that really drew me in, you know what I'm saying.
And then a lot of times I'll even watch a clip. Like I'll watch a Rogan clip and then be like, oh, and I not even know who the guest is, but whatever they clipped up was so interesting, I'll go watch the entire interview. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you, give you an example, right? Yeah. There's a dude that was going to jungles, and what this guy was doing? He was going to jungles to see how long he can survive in these different type of jungles and in different, different countries. You know what I'm saying? He was going to different jungles to see how he can survive, and like when what happens when wild animals come around and how you eating, how you doing it. Like that was just so mind blowing. I'm like, yo, this dude sits there and goes to a jungle and tries to survive in a jungle.
For
Like,
real. That's just
you know,
made me
and he just does that. Like this, you know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah,
like
for fun.
every day, like the little smallest thing in the jungle. Like that stuff is super interesting. That's great content right there.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna like who really thinks like, yo, let me go get a guy that goes to jungles, you know what I'm saying, and tries to survive. Like, let me interview him. Like, that's mad creative. So when I see celebrities get in this space, to me, they don't really offer nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, look at Pharrell Williams, right? He's one of my favorite producers. He comes out with a podcast, but he makes people pay for it. And I'm like, people would have watched that for free, and it probably would have been one of the biggest podcasts. Just because even if Pharrell wasn't entertaining, it's because people just want it. They know the access that he'll have to interviewees too, right? Like, no one can get Jay on a pod, like, but if Pharrell Williams, you know what I mean, probably could. You know what I mean? Like,
motherfucking right.
But I never checked it out because the motherfucker there's the paywall. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
What you want to say about Drizzy? Say what you want to say about Drizzy. Like one of his first podcasts, the boy, what's the light skinned boy name with the OG that he was just calling out Cameron? What's the OG name? The writer
that was calling out Cameron.
Yeah, he was calling out Cameron's podcast. Elliot was one of the ones.
Okay, yeah.
Elliot was one of the ones to get a Drake interview, you know what I mean? And Drake ain't never did no motherfucking interviews like that on no podcast.
Yeah, I remember the Elliot-ness joint.
I ain't gonna hold you, right? I don't know what it is about Elliot from the beat, him and B-Dot. That's what you talking about.
Yeah. That was the co-host, them too.
Yo, I can't lie, Elliot's mad corny to me.
No, because bro,
he laughs too much, dude. Like,
let me say something. You've had Jay on your podcast, bro.
Yeah.
You've interviewed Jay-Z
and Drake.
Not no little bit of interview. I'm talking about a whole full out interview. You've interviewed Jay. You've interviewed Drake. You've interviewed Nicki. I think he interviewed Nicki at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
was there with me.
I just think that, I don't know, man, because I tried to listen to their podcast a couple years ago, and I was like,
it's whack. And he got at Cameron for being a non-journalistic like type shit, and then he had to go on Cameron shit and backpedal 100%, and had no problem doing it because he was sour grapes. That's that old man get off my grass like type shit, man. It's a new wave right now, bro.
I think it is. He tried a formula, because at the end of the day, man, people want to see who you are sometimes.
100%.
You can't just leave it up to the guests to make your show. You gotta be the guy sometimes.
Yeah, when you watch Cam, he's the guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So
he's the guy. Like,
the show is an addition. It's not. Doesn't make the entire.
Even Mace is not the guy, but Mace is a wonderful addition. But the fact that
not only that with Mace, but see, Cam and Mace, they grew up together, so it's the brothers.
So there's an organic
chemistry, bro. That's why Gillian Wallow, he tells him, bro, your nickname was Butternuts, pause, in the ink. Like, and he says it on camera. He like, oh man, shut the fuck up. Your rap career was fucked up. Ooh, you was dropped.
Yeah.
Birdman.
It reminds me of you and Kev lightweight.
That resonates with the viewers because you're like, man, you talking like how me and my cousins talk, you know what I mean? Or wooty woot dish, you know what I mean? So a lot of like that, just said, like how you just said, Slim, that all that matters, bro.
Yeah. But, now, I had a thing that I wanted to talk about, right? I heard about this the other day, and they had a good debate on it. It was streaming. They was asking Mecca about it. It was streaming versus podcasting. Now they were saying, do you think that streaming will phase out podcasting? Do you think that podcasting is like yesterday's news and streaming is the now?
I think the people that grew up loving radio, they'll forever love podcasts because they're the ones that was like, oh, this is dope. It's like radio on demand, like because listen to morning shows, long standing thing. They're at work, playing it. They might have missed it live, the live premiere. That podcast is never going to go away. The live streams will never go away either, because this is where the people get involved, the viewers, and they get, you know, they get to actually affect what's going on potentially because of their comments and getting reactions and engagement. You know what I mean? So that's the clear difference between the two for me.
But this is the thing, right? Because I heard Mecca's response to it, right? And Mecca was like, well, they said the same thing about albums like CDs and records, and he said now records have become a niche to where you go looking for certain like vinyl records and they're sold out. I know that for a fact because
one of my homeboys just pulled up on me. He went to go get the Wu-Tang vinyl that just dropped last 2 weeks ago, and he said he had to go up there straight because he lived right down the street from me. So every time he blow by the block, he'll stop and say what's up. But he got out the truck that day, you know, because we ain't seen each other in a minute, and he was on his way to go get that Wu-Tang album.
That motherfucker was excited as fuck.
100%, bro. 100%.
For the nostalgic feel of it.
Yeah.
A lot of
the tangible feel.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite rappers, you know what I mean? They're dropping vinyls and stuff. But this is the thing, right? All right, so he said, yeah, it could be its own niche, like how vinyls is now. And I said, yeah, but overall, records are not selling. Physical records are not really selling.
No.
That's the niche for the nostalgic part. But overall, people are still streaming. Streaming has completely taken over when it comes to how people consume their music. So, you know, the question was, it was like, okay, I didn't really like the example he gave because I felt like podcasting is its own lane.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to go with it. That's exactly where I was going to go with it.
Because with podcasting, it's more structured. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, you know, you have to have topics. You gotta have this, that, third. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more structured. Like on the stream, some streamers started off gaming. I don't know. I don't think every streamer is gaming.
Right.
Some of them, I see them on the stream and there's no game in sight. They just on there, you know.
They call that
on Twitch and not even gaming.
So they call it IRL. So a lot of the streamers that like we're trying to bring into context is the iShowSpeed, the what's the little bull name? Kai Sanat. It's a lot of them young bulls.
They started off gaming though.
Yeah, 100%. Academics started off gaming. Talking about Academics was playing 2K while talking about certain shit too, though. 100% Fortnite. You can go all the way back to when that motherfucker started. That's what he was doing. But see, that's the thing though. Like, right? See, streaming is really a lot more of live content, interaction, engagement, and then like on Twitch. See, you get your dough by them motherfuckers being subscribed to you. You know what I mean? You got to pay $5.99 every fucking month in order to be not a follower, but a subscriber. You know what I mean? And see them certain stream like Kick got the little Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross, big dude in that industry, and he's outside woo-wopping and, you know what I mean, doing weird shit or just kicking back. We talked about Jack Doherty streaming. He don't do a whole lot, but he outside with the woo-wop, got the content house with the Beezies, you know what I mean, certain stuff like that. So you got one side of the game, and on the other side of the game is the podcast. But you know what tie it all together? It's fucking content. So the content is never going nowhere, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my thing is, you know, podcasting is more structured. So, you know, I feel like streaming is for now. I don't think streaming is necessarily going anywhere. I just think that certain things the youth are able to take advantage of and build up a big following on it because of their youth. They're into all the things of the now.
You know what, big bro? I know, and you a big sneakerhead like me, big bro. You know who's on a commercial of Dick's? Pause.
Who?
Fucking iShowSpeed is on the commercial with KD, Tom Brady, a gymnast from America that's won medals.
Oh, for the Dick's Sporting Goods
is on a national commercial, bro. That's how much the commercial side of the industry that makes commercials, and you know what I mean, how much the hip hop community runs all mainstream, you know what I mean, driven commercials and stuff like that. they're coming in and tapping in with the streamers, which, like you just said, gives the youth, more hope because they see their favorite streamer making commercials. Usually you only see athletes on Dicks and Foot Locker and stuff like that. When I was a kid, that's all you seen is the athletes on the commercials. Now you got a streamer. Come on now, bro. You giving us hope, whether you be his age or our age.
Now, this is the thing, because they was the way they was coming at Mecca, they was basically saying like, okay, like, should people just adapt to what the new trend is as far as streaming, or should they stay in their lane? Now, I feel like you should stay in your lane, but at the same time, you can adapt new ways of doing things. Like if they have a new way of doing something, it's nothing wrong with adapting that way to what you do if it makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? Because some things that the youth do only work for the youth. It don't work for somebody that's
I agree with you because I've seen it in the lane already. So, and I hate to bring up Brad again in this podcast because he getting shitted on he's viral right now, and it's my guy. I fuck with Math 100%. But when Math didn't have guests and they would do the live show, it's one of them live shows where I'm in the comments and they got the TV up on the wall. I'm telling Math, man, quit looking at the comments. Give us what we came here to see on your live. Live is not for everybody, bro. 100%. You have to be able to bring some to a live show and be able to, even though he had a lot of motherfucking audience in that motherfucking, but the content, it was whack to me. Every podcast, that structured podcast with a conversation, nigga, they can't go, excuse my language, they can't go live and really just boom off like how.
Excuse your language. We way past that. Go ahead, though, bro.
But no, for sure, bro. Oh my mama, you know what I mean? That live is not for everybody, bro.
Nah, that's for sure. Because I seen somebody destroy the whole page because they too into the comments. Yeah. Like, how you so into the comments that you're not even paying attention to the people that's paying attention to you?
100%, bro.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but I don't think that nobody has to. I don't think that people got to jump out their lane and jump into streaming. I feel like streaming is working for the youngins because they bring in the youth energy. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the things that a lot of the youth are into right now.
Oh my mama. And you know what, though, big bro? And the youth, if like, because even say what you want to say about Charleston, right? The youth have tapped in with Charleston because they know he gonna run the numbers up, right? But also Charleston tap in with the youth because they know that they fuck with him no matter what he say. You know what I mean? It'd be so viral that they tap in. So look, if the youth gonna fuck with you and pull you in, you know what I mean? That's how you're gonna be able to get into this into they lane. You know what I mean? Because they fuck with you. Don't try and force yourself upon the youth. You know what I mean? Unless you really in tune with them. You know what I mean? Because we all got little cousins and shit like that keep us informed. Also, in the fucking hip-hop game, that's how this shit stays alive, is by the youth, and we gonna go find what we like 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my mama. So
I think that I feel like the youth, I feel like, okay, you shouldn't, like, if you older, you shouldn't be chasing trends all the time. Sometimes it's good to pick a lane and master it rather than you jumping from trend to trend to trend to trend to trend to trend, because you never really establish yourself. Right. You know what I mean?
So funny, like when I was
check it out. Let me land. So when you look at academics, so you look at any one of these big time streamers that's big right now. This Joe Act, the Kaiser Nas, the iShowSpeeds, this, take them for example, right? They mastered a particular lane, and then they get the benefits from that, mastering that lane. But they wasn't jumping from lane to lane to lane to lane to lane. They do that once they're big in their lane. Then opportunities come. Hey, well, let me try, see how you are with this. So let me try and see how you are with that. You know what I mean? But that's once you've built up your following in that lane. You know what I'm saying? So they picked the lane and they mastered it. Academics picked, the YouTube lane, mastered that. iShowSpeed, everybody has their respective lane that they mastered. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think that it'll be beneficial to just keep jumping from trend to trend to trend. Listen, you can You can podcast and you can stream. You know what I mean? You can do the podcast on the stream. You understand? You can incorporate that into what you're doing, but you don't have to leave podcasting alone to jump over and say, I'm gonna just be a full-time streamer. You know what I mean? If that's not what you want to do.
Another cheat code, like another cheat code for our lane, and me and you talked about this multiple times, and I got one. I've made one by myself. Our streaming is really us vlogging. 100% structured content. Get your ass outside, you know what I mean? Go ahead and get you some footage, you know what I mean? And cook that bitch up 100%. Then like 100%, like if you got the real life type shit on your phone and you got good service and all that, YouTube allows you to go live from your phone, you know what I mean? And once you build that audience up, you can get in the streets with streaming in real life 100%. But go ahead and start cooking up vlogs to get to show people that you are outside and you trying to put people on, you know what I mean, to where to go, where to be, what time to be there, you know what I mean, everything that's going on for the month 100%. Because I follow motherfuckers and I'm trying to get us our shit, the OJ show. I found somebody that does this shit that's not too far from here, that's outside making content, and I would love to bring her on. I've been in contact with her and she talking about she might want to come on with us 100%. You know, nice. I mean? That's different type of content, bro. On my mama.
Yeah. I think you know, now, because even like with YouTube, you know, I feel like it's too many people just sitting behind the desk. Like as we go further, you know, as I go further on in this joint, I want to give people an experience. I don't just want to just them watching me talk about the same topics that everybody else talking about. I want to give them things that the other person that they listening to don't give them.
Come on now.
Yeah. So, you know, I got to go outside and I got to explore, and there's a lot of places I could explore. You know, so as we move forward to the fans, like, yeah, we definitely gonna do that. We definitely, you know, I'm definitely gonna be outside with it and moving around and, you know, giving y'all, you know, some experiences, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just what it is. But as far as like I said, you don't have to jump out of your lane. You know, if you're podcasting, you don't have to stop podcasting and start streaming. You could just incorporate the two. You can do the damn podcast on the stream. You know what I mean? But you just have to, because I've watched academics do that. I watched academics do a whole podcast on the stream. Mm-hmm. It's just not structured like a podcast. It's just, okay, I'm just pulling up topics, looking them up.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought academics up because his podcast is terrible. He's not a podcaster.
See what I'm saying? But
and I fuck with Ak. Ak is my guy. Ak is my guy. I talk shit about Ak when it's content about him. You know what I mean? He is sensitive because I am an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. You know, shout out to Erykah Badu. You know what I mean? I am an artist too. I'm sensitive about my solo videos. Oh, blah, 100%. You know what I mean? One coming soon. But yeah, though, when he gets in the studio and has a conversation, that motherfucker is socially awkward. Only reason why he cool is because he got dope. Bro has never been cool that ever in his life. So when he's sitting face to face with somebody, to me, in my opinion, it's the most awkwardest shit there is. 100%. So I'm not in tune with his podcast. That's not what I'm in tune with him for. And that's jumping out of his lane because he has the ability to do it. But that shit don't resonate to me 100%. I like to see you in front of the camera at your house with the thing in the background of the fucking web browsers and shit like that.
But see, with Ak, like his fan base, you got to understand his fan base. His fan base is made up of people just like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people at home.
Same thing with I heard Boss Mac say this. Shout out to Boss Mac, man.
Boss Mac.
Yeah, I fuck with his content.
California.
Yeah, he said Adam is, he said a lot of his fans are incels, right? Now I would say everybody, but the majority is like the guys that they want to watch that stuff. They don't really
infatuated with the culture. They're infatuated. They get something. You know, and they might not want to admit it to everybody else, but yeah, they're fucking infatuated with what's going on.
And look, and then outside of the content, he's had, you know, he's
doing the porn stuff.
Yeah, he's doing a porn thing with all the females that they probably
They'll
you know,
never be able to get.
exactly. So he's
Them
a
incels. It's
fantasy.
that
Bro.
those incels.
Yeah, he's an incel's fantasy. Like that, he's living
He's their
their
hero.
fantasy life
100%.
out
Yeah.
in the open. You feel me? So that's probably why. Now,
And you know, one other thing, my bad, big bro. Let me throw this in there before you go. You know, it's a video breaking down Adam's family tree, and those motherfuckers is tied to some of that other. You know what I mean? 100. Go find it out, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't his dad?
We'll
his
talk
dad
about
did
this
time.
after the show. I hate to cut you off for that, but yeah.
Yeah, his dad did time, right? And I think his dad was like, with one of them woods.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, let me tell you something. Adam wouldn't be moving around California doing what he's doing without being plugged in for real. Let's you too close to gangster shit to not be somehow have some kind of safety method. You know what I mean? Just in case something gets tricky.
It's called giving the police the information whenever they want to.
I mean,
he's quick to be a civilian, but he wanted to be a gangster so bad.
100%, bro.
I don't think he get them police information because it would jeopardize everything.
What was I just watching? I was just watching.
I mean, he did go on the podcast and say, if the feds ask me for anything, all the footage, I'm going to give them everything. That's what he said.
Oh yeah, if the feds come, yeah. Most podcasts gonna do that.
Vlad, he wasn't giving up no information for Keefy D.
Yeah, they said the
have to give up information for KVD. KVD put himself out there.
Right,
they're like, fucking KVD's giving it up.
Right, no, them is facts, but he said he wasn't gonna give up none of them tapes, though. That's the only thing about that, though. Oh my mama! But it's an interview. It's a clip that I was just watching of Vlad and Remo. I mean, not Vlad and Remo, but Adam and Remo. Let me see if I can pull this shit up. And they was fucking grilling, bruh, for the answers. And they in the comments like, yeah, bruh, he working on his police tactics.
Who, Remo?
Please forgive me for not having the clip pulled up.
Remo's a crew.
Remo and Adam, they was asking the interviewee some police asked questions.
Yeah, they be having Remo do that routine.
I mean, they gonna try you. That's like they're gonna try you. That's just what it is. Like they're gonna ask you questions, and it's on you to answer. You know what I mean? But
Remo might be the feds. Remo might be deep undercover this whole time.
Man, I don't know what's going on with these dudes' personal lives. What I do know is that when you go up there, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to have a little game with you to where you're going up there and you're not talking out of turn. You're not saying things you ain't supposed to be saying. Like this is common knowledge. So I can't get mad at Adam for dudes not having common sense, using common sense when they get out the cameras, bro.
Yeah, them is facts.
You know what I mean? I can't blame Adam for that. These is grown men coming up here.
It's the same way with the Vlad thing for the longest, right? People say, "Oh, Vlad, he get people to self snitch," but it's like people go on there and you know what I mean? Like they just got to do the Pee Wee Long way.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Shit, people talk about Pee Wee Long way. People got to pay attention to the FBG Duck when Duck was on there. All rest dead. You know what I'm saying?
Peace, Duck.
Duck wasn't talking.
Oh, when he had all the money, he had the pile of money.
Yeah, Duck wasn't talking out of turn. Vlad thought he was going to answer a certain question. He was like, "Yeah, you thought I was going to answer that, right?"
Them is facts. That's
there like that.
That's damn like on everything. Like he asked Pee Wee Longway, "Oh, your favorite favorite color is blue. What does the blue mean? What is what is it? Oh, damn it, I forgot his three the name of his shit. MPA. What does MPA mean? Does that mean money, power, ammunition? Like he was asking it in so many ways, and Pee Wee just kept smiling. You know what I mean? Some people are built for the game, like right. You know what I mean? 100%.
I don't know if some was built for the game.
No, so hold on. Let me finish though. Let me finish. A lot of these motherfuckers that's like my age, maybe a little bit younger, still have the old ways of the older guys above us to where we didn't want to be seen on Instagram because we had grams. You feel me?
Yeah.
Some guys are like that. You seen X4, the little homie, Adam said, man, it's a viral clip of you with the, and bruh just stood there and looked at him like this. That's just a little homie. You feel me? Some people still have that in them. Not everybody, because once you get in front of the camera, you get the highest of the highest. It don't gotta be the drug no more. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, but this motherfucking clout and this camera, it'll make a motherfucker tell everything, bro. 100%.
See, I'm like this, man. Like, if you active in the street, you ain't supposed to be in front of nobody's camera on no public platform, period. You know what I'm saying? Because all the stuff, you know, whatever Pee Wee Longway did to dodge the questions in the interview, it didn't stop him from going to jail.
Yeah, that's because he was still active.
Exactly. I should, but you're active and you out there. See, that's the thing. Like, when you get into rap, I would think that you would want to let all the other stuff go, because now you have to be on Front Street. You got to be out there for everybody to see, feel, and touch. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're on the street, you keep, some people are safer staying in the street until, you know, they're ready to leave that life alone all the way, because if they jump out halfway, that life can bite them in the rear end.
Mm-hmm.
They put their face out there and they face hot. Now they face hot. Now, say for instance, they putting belt the ass in the street, and then now people don't know who really doing it. They have an idea, but they're not all the way sure. Now you just put your face out there, and you got this interviewer telling you, "Oh, well, you're from this area, this, that." Now your ops willing to, they could put all of that together, and they're like, "Oh, now they put a face to all the work now." And now your face hot now. Now you go out there, you could get your face knocked off. You see what I'm saying?
Or on the flip side, you the same thing, everything you're saying, but you one foot out, and now you popping with the music, and you still active in the streets. Now the D's is on you. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So when you get into anything dealing with the public, listen, man. If you're not all the way out of that shit, man, just keep your identity secret until you out of that life. And then when you come in this joint, coming in with a clean slate.
That's why we keep seeing Ricos, though. The Rico, Rico ain't new. Oh, my mother, the Rico getting there forever, bro. Since Al Capone and them, bro.
That's the 80s. They barely came up with the Ricos.
You know, Suge Knight, his dumb ass, and free Suge Knight. Bro, your motherfucking ass should have been behind the scenes. You don't need to be on the motherfucking cover of Vibe with one red Rolls Royce and a white Rolls Royce with the motherfucking female fucking German Shepherd holding it like this. That's behind the scenes, bro. Be like
you have to be behind the scenes.
You got to be like Sugar Slim, though, bro. 100%. You got Baby and you got Slim. Hey, I love
Sugar Slim.
Huh?
You said Suge Knight or Sugar Slim?
Oh,
Suge.
You got one instance for Suge Knight who is in the front of everything. Then you have
to do that because he was fully legit. He was doing the dumb shit behind the scenes, but he was fully legit.
That's not what I'm getting at, bro. That's not what I'm getting at.
But I mean, he did start running with the Mob Pyro guys.
Sugar Slim, who's always been behind the scenes. Then you got another CEO who likes to be in front of the scenes. The motherfuckers that have been in front of the scenes that still be on bullshit, where they at now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, look who's running. Look who runs
we don't really know nothing about Sugar Slim, bro. But yet, Sugar Slim,
Top,
baby, they're the most all-time selling record label there is. They've sold the most albums in the rap game, bro. 100%.
But I mean, if I look like Sugar Slim, I wouldn't want to be out in the front either. Like, some people just they just want the whole thing. They want to.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Clout is a drug.
Everybody on the real, like, everybody don't want to live their life behind the scenes, bro.
They call main characters.
Don't want to live like that. Like, just for real. Like, everybody don't want to live like that.
And then if you want to live yourself in front of the camera, you better be careful what you do. Ain't that what you just said?
Yeah, facts.
Exactly.
Facts. Everybody. Because listen. If you look at Sugar Slim and you look at Suge Knight, come on, man. We know why Sugar Slim got to play the back, bro.
Bro, that motherfucker is on camera telling motherfuckers he make motherfuckers drink piss. This ain't no motherfucking mob.
He just running his mouth. Like that's he's
Man, come on, bro.
What I'm saying is that
everything, bro.
In his lane,
he fucked up a lot of people's careers, bro. Oh my mama, that motherfucker was in the mid-90s, and because he want to be a pinky finger mobbed up, come on now, bro, you didn't make the whole empire collapse. It was his fault that shit came, bro, and he'll tell you that, bro. Oh my mama.
Yeah, I mean, it's all on him because he owns the company.
There it is. There.
He owns the
company.
company.
Your ass in the background. You ain't bringing no talent. Your talent isn't being brought to the forefront. It's the motherfucking artists that you pay. Let them do everything. That's
Dang,
just
look at it. Look even with Diddy.
Owner is making
Bad Boy
decisions for the team, and this motherfucker ain't had no day of training, eyeing players, grading players, all types of shit. Sit your ass back there and write the checks, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, like at the end of the day, I don't feel like it was nothing wrong with Suge being out in the forefront. I think the shit that he was caught up in, him wanting, because you got to understand, Suge mastered. He got in the legal game first. You know what I mean? Before he started messing around with the streets, when he got famous, that's when he started like bringing these dudes around him, these dirty cops and these the gangbangers and all of that. That's when he started getting into all, because he let the power go to his head.
Yeah, he had the money now.
Yeah, but if Suge would have stayed on some regular shit, you know what I'm saying? He could have been out in the forefront and not have to worry about none of that.
That's what I said, bro. And you just said that. The motherfuckers that want to come to the forefront, whether you a D-boy doing any type of anything that's not supposed to be done, and you come to the forefront, you got more eyes on you.
Yes,
some of that the whole world in his hands, 100%. You know what I mean? That he made the motherfucking Berlin Wall crumble on his own, big bro. 100%.
It is what it is. I mean, some of the stuff that Suge did was necessary, though. You know what I mean? It was necessary. Suge, because like it's pros and cons with Suge. It's not just all cons. Because the type of dude that Suge was is the type of businessman that black men needed to be. We're not talking about when Suge went super duper reckless. We talking about in the beginning when Suge was standing on business behind his artists. We need black businessmen like that. We don't need the guys that's gonna be on some punk shit when it comes to dealing with them folks that got all that money.
I mean, look at Top. Top is very like behind the scenes, and he's responsible for like a handful of the biggest artists the last 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you need strong dudes that's in business. You don't need weak dudes that's in business. So that's why I say like dudes.
Bro, they were under investigation in 2001 for a RICO.
Yeah, we talking about
Death Row was investigation for a RICO in 2001, bro. They been moving like the mob, bro. Like, come on, man. Let's not overthink this, man.
I mean, shit, Murder Inc. got investigated.
Who he was in the beginning, a lot of dudes needed to be like that. A lot of black businessmen needed to be like that. They needed
in order to do some right, I had to do some wrong. Trust me, I know, big bro. I trust me, I know. But yet, once you get, it's all good, bro. 100%. Free Suge Knight, bro.
Like I said, Suge messed up his situation, but who he was in the beginning, before he got super deep into the street shit, you black businessmen needed to be like that, because when you see the opposite, we lose more. You see, like I said, the Suge who Suge was before the nonsense, when he was a record label owner and his whole goal was to get his artists on and to support his people. And he stood up against those robbing ass execs and shit like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of black record label owners or business owners that they'll do their people dirty, but then when they go in front of these big time execs, they playing possum. And Diddy was one of them types. You know what I'm saying?
Quincy Jones.
One of the things is right now too, though, like
you leaving them out to dry.
I'm a big Tupac fan. Tupac is one of my favorite artists of all time, bro. It's rumors that bro wasn't paying him.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So like, come on, man. Like,
but see, listen, I watched something on Suge. I watched a documentary. I really did a study on Suge. First of all, it was David Kenner that got in Suge's ear about being slimy on the business side. You know what I mean? And not to say that Suge doesn't accept that Suge shouldn't accept responsibility. Of course he should, but he say for instance with the whole Harry O situation, right? It was David Kenner that was in Suge's ear for him to cut Harry O out the situation. Like as long like that dude David.
Oh,
Kenner,
that's why Snoop put Harry O as the president.
Huh?
That's why when Snoop bought Death Row, the rights to Death Row not too long ago, he put Harry O as like a president.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro.
Yeah, but that didn't really mean nothing. Snoop just
it was just him. It was just for him. Like he
David
felt like he was
Kenner was Tupac's lawyer and fucking Death Row's lawyer. That's a conflict of interest, bro.
Yeah.
That's how fucked up it was over there, bro. It wasn't pro artists over there, bro. You can have many of Death Row former artists. And fucking Daz had to sue Death Row because he made all the beats, bro. Didn't want to pay him. Daz won $100 million lawsuit against bruh.
Did he?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not saying that Suge didn't do wrong, but I said what I would say is that Suge started out on the right foot. He was not coming out the gate just jerking niggas.
I understand that, and that's because cocaine is a hell of a drug. Whatever your choice of relaxation is, if it's money, if it's clout, and Brett wanted to be on front of everything like he's the artist.
I mean,
he sold $5 million out the gate, took over the whole Death Row. He had the whole Death Row hating on him, bro. When he sold $5 million, you know how much money Suge Knight got off them 5 million albums? Come on, man.
Like hundreds.
He ran the world. He sold in the years that Death Row was out, he sold more albums than anybody during that time. He the hottest everything. Soundtracks, group albums, individual albums, doing movies. Like, come on, bro. On everything, bro, is on the source. I want to say it's the source. 2 Rolls Royces, a red one, a white one. That dog that he called Kane, which is a German Shepherd. You know what I mean? Like, come.
Now, but see, listen. Minus the nonsense that shit was like, you know, with the other shit. Every exec moves like Suge business wise. How Suge was jerking them artists around, ain't too many CEOs that can't be put on trial for that.
Yeah, but you're talking about him as the businessman coming into the game. He's not doing good business all the way around.
I believe that when he first came into the game, he came into the game with good intentions.
Well, then he's done bad businesses on record, so he's just not coming into the game doing good business and all that. He didn't completely broke the whole house, bro. 100% himself alone, whether he done good business to start into it, but he's done bad business when he done blew up on top of other weird shit to bring down the whole empire, bro. That's the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like, all right, a lot of people like this is the thing that I'm trying to get you to understand, right? Aside from all the criminal stuff that Suge was into, if Suge was not like you say the stuff that he was grimy, you know, money wise stuff. All them CEOs move the same way.
We're not talking about all of them. We're talking about him and what he's done, bro. That's why I'm trying to nail up. The point in is just him.
Yeah, listen. I believe a lot. I believe a few of these CEOs, black CEOs, came in the game with good intentions. But I think somebody pulled them to the side and put that bug in their ear, like, "Yo, listen, you ain't got to get them all that. You could get way more off these artists than what you're getting off of them." And they learned the game. They learned how to jerk these artists around, and they just pass it on. Because I see the same thing.
No one talks about Jermaine Dupri.
Every CEO, I see the same thing. It's the same sentiments. It was with Jay Prince with the Ghetto Boys. It's Master P and all his artists. His artists wasn't all happy.
None of them was
getting shit from them too. You know what I mean? It's not just Puffy and Suge. It's every other CEO.
Slim
didn't P from the Migos, the CEO that was the record label that they was under. Didn't he say they was signed to a record label for a contract for life? Like how Birdman and them had?
Yeah. It was something like that, yeah.
They're taking $100 million and blowing the bread, and then the record label had to reissue the money in a court case once they went in their books. All these CEOs they all do bad business. I feel like they come in the game with good intentions. Somebody gets get in their ear and tell them, hey, that's not how the way this shit go. And do you want to be on top? You want to be in power? You're gonna have to start paying them less. You're gonna have to start taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So somebody shows them how to jerk these artists around and get away with it. But I don't think that these dudes come in the game with bad intentions. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because no CEO hasn't been accused of jerking a artist, has not been accused of jerking a artist. They all got the same claims. Every single last one of them. So if Suge, the only thing that killed Suge was all the stupid shit you was getting into. But business-wise, the only difference is all his business on Front Street. A lot of them CEOs did exactly what Suge did. It's just that it's not on Front Street. It's in the background, but you hear the sentiments from the artists after they leave the label. You hear that shit. Oh, man, I didn't get paid this and I didn't get paid that. When they go on these interviews and they talk, you hear that. You know what I mean? So, you know, but I feel this, and this is just my opinion, that when some of them, when they came in the game, they came in with good intentions, but they got poisoned. You know what I mean? And then they start treating them, you know, just like Jim Jones. Jim Jones, he kept it all the way a buck. He said, yo, when I came in the game, he said there were certain artists that present day that I gave them back certain stuff that I took from them, but I was just reiterating what was done to me. When I first came in the game, I was getting jerked around, so I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna jerk them around, and we just gonna keep passing it off like that." Yeah. But in the long run, how it's not, you know, in his situation, he wasn't rich enough to where once that stuff blows back, you can't, you know, it may if you're not rich and up by that time, that shit can really affect you. Now, if you all the way rich by that time, like, you know, with Birdman, with the Wayne situation, a lot of people don't even realize. When I listen to Birdman on Bank, he was like, oh, I don't know why everybody went on the Big Fast podcast. Shout out to them. He was like, I don't know why everybody mad at me, this, that, and third, because I done paid everybody off. But that's way past. And he admitted his wrongs. But I think from after that lawsuit with Universal and how Universal had to, because what happened, well, you already know what happened with the money, whatever the case may be. But once that situation happened and they had to reissue that money, they blackballed him. Not to mention there was a bunch of artists and people that he did business with running around talking about he was jerking them and he'll make them go to court for something petty, for money that you owe me, and it's not even trivial.
The clip said they never got paid for the grinding shit.
A lot of them didn't get paid. The lady who Wendy Day, who got them their $30 million deal.
Yeah.
She been on the Real Life Street Star. She's a common guest on the Real Life Street Star. Shout out to her. Oh, my man.
She never got that. You know who she had to go hit up to go press him? Freddie Fox. That's an old school rap from New York.
She also, one of the things that she said, and this is, you know, her words, you know what I mean, and this ain't verbatim, but she said when she started up fucking on BG, that's when Baby got hot because he was grooming her to come fuck with him 100%. My mama, she said that on the Real Life Street Stars.
Wow.
100%.
See what I'm saying? So they all fall victim to the greed. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think when they come in the game, they come in with, because even with Birdman, if you hear stories from Birdman back in the days, man, he used to do a lot of stuff just off the muscle.
Right, but see, that's what you said, off the greed, though. The greed, you can say that's a way of relaxation, a drug, something that fuels you. Greed can fuel your fire. It can be your motivation. And your motivation can also be the reason why you crumble your shit, bro. If your shit not in tune 100%, bro. And that's what I'm saying, bruh. Bruh is the main reason why his empire fall, whether it was good business or bad business, bro. His outside activities got him to the reason where he's at right now.
Yeah, I mean, that I know, but his bad business tactics, like the bad business tactics, wouldn't have brung his empire down if he didn't get into all that criminal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's his fault. That's what I'm saying. That's his fault.
Yeah, that's his fault. That's his fault. I mean, you know, we know that he wouldn't have been locked up right now if it wasn't his fault.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, bruh, you know, the shit with the night of the shooting, They chose to go jump on, bro. They move like, even though that's typical shit. You know what I mean? Somebody disrespect us outside, he gonna get packed out. It ain't no one-on-ones. 100%. That's just how you move when you come from certain spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. So that shit kind of like, it is what it is. But on top of it, multiple layers, that was some in-city rival shit outside or outside of the city. You feel me? And they move. The shit is the mob. You know what I mean? That's what they pushed. They was furthering the movement with some legitimate shit. That's why they was under investigation the whole time.
But, but see, let me tell you something too. Like, how old was Suge in 1996 or 1995?
30 years old.
He was 30 years old. So that means that's in 96, right? That's when Pac passed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1990, he was what? 24?
Coming out of college, failed football career, even though he got invited to the Rams and all that.
He started bodyguarding.
So he took it up, started being a bodyguard. That he was Eazy-E bodyguard, multiple people bodyguards. That's how he got into the game.
Yeah. Suge was a millionaire way before 30. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying to make excuses, but when you've never traveled a path in your life, you know what I mean? You're gonna make mistakes on that path. You just gotta hope that the mistakes that you make, it don't jeopardize the whole situation. You know,
and that's where your choices come in at. That's where your people that you have around you come in.
Let me just, because I try to like look at things. I try to put myself in that person's shoes sometimes. Cause like, you think about it, right? Suge from the hood, right?
Yeah.
He a multi-millionaire, but he still, he still be around. He still be in the hood. He still, got ties or whatever the case may be. Now imagine it's 4th of July or it's like a holiday or whatever, and Suge want to go throw a party in Compton. You know how crazy that party gonna be?
Yeah.
Homie, that's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. You know how crazy that party's gonna be.
That dude was not involved in the activities as a young person, bro. He was strictly a football player, 2-parent home.
I'm talking about 25 years old. I'm not talking about when he was 16 and 15. I know,
but listen to me. I'm trying to lead up to that. So because the way that he grew up in the community, he might have certain friends, but you let your certain friends influence you to move that way. That's on his own. You can have your homies that you grew up with and they involved in the activities, but he didn't partake in them activities. He chose to partake in the activities when he got the money.
Yeah.
100%.
Like most people do.
No, that's not like most people do.
Like most people do now.
Some people are entrenched in the activities.
Yeah, I get that. But now you got that little bit of history of being from the hood, and now you got the money now.
And he chose to bring the bullshit around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started running
the bullshit like he's been in the bullshit. Like
because Mob James.
In that culture, you have hierarchies. Just because he got the money, he don't sit at the top of that community.
He don't, but he got a lot of pull though.
I mean, he definitely connected.
There's rumors of his own people trying to rob him, set him up. And
he connected with the mob, though.
Nobody is bigger than the program in that community. Whether you got the money or not, you got to put the work in to get to where you say what's going on, bro.
I mean, but he started feeding the mob, though. Once he got, and then he grew up with Mob James, and Mob James be the first to say that Suge wasn't with the program, young. But of course, they were all neighborhood friends, whatnot. So when he blew up, he basically brought them on as like personal security, essentially, right? Like, hey, look. Bring the gang around.
He got the money, bro. Then they started extorting him, bro. They was damn near kidnap him, bro. 100%. The mob, it was mob people finna kidnap him. Where he from? And he's not that.
I did the research on that though. That dude, they ended up going that shit ended up causing a whole gang war.
Yeah, it did.
Because you got one side because he got the money and he feeding the wolves. Then you got the other side looking at it like this dude only got the money, he ain't did nothing. Come on, bro.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, the money gonna win though.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Because your money gonna run out.
The money's always gonna win.
Hey, the money only lasts for so long, and it's gonna keep going on up and up and up and up.
In his situation, it only lasted for so long because he did a lot of dirt. But let me tell you,
there it is. There,
that money is very, very powerful, more powerful than you think, man. Like you think people talk about a program and all of that. There, man. Let me tell you something. Once that chicken get involved, man, people ain't caring a nigga. Like, yo, let me tell you something. If you a broke OG. And then you got a dude that's papered up, you know what I'm saying, and got a little
bit Big U and Nip. And we ain't never got to the conspiracy, but yet this is how this shit goes, bro. Mm-hmm. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Nip had more influence, I believe. He had more influence than a little bit.
And when you got the youth on your side, the youth is what's coming up making shit shake. The OGs that don't got no money, don't got no influence, of course they gonna get jealous because they done been here, they done put in the work for 20 plus years, but now the work that I didn't put in, all that shit don't matter no more because he's a rapper and he ain't putting much more work in him and he got a little bit of paper. Of course some feelings is gonna get hurt, bro.
Yeah, because you're not talented.
Trust me, I know.
And he's lit right now. And the young niggas, they want to be him.
Trust me, I know.
Roddy Ricch came to me and said, yo, I want to be signed to your record label.
Look,
and Roddy Ricch was on
in my community, we have one of the little bros that boomed up. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We got a little bro that boomed up. Little bruh is big bruh to certain motherfuckers.
Yeah. A whole generation. I'm
that doesn't work like
that he big.
It don't work like that though.
I mean, technically. You know what I'm saying? It don't work like that, but it's working like that now.
Because cocaine is a hell of a drug. Clout is a hell of a drug. You up there, you famous. Let me try and wiggle in so I can get some my 5 minutes of shine.
Yeah.
That's going to go a long way. So motherfuckers that's on the opposite end is going to get jealous.
And then look, Nip putting dudes on his team, putting his homies on his team, and they riding around Lambos in the video. They rocking big chains and all that. So now the young niggas looking like, yo, these the niggas. These the niggas right here. But these the dudes right here. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, of course it's gonna make people jealous. I'm telling you that bag it'll change a whole lot of minds. The only way that a dude would have advantage is if is in a jail situation. You know what I mean? If you in a jail situation, then the OG that got all that put all that work in, that's where his power is gonna come in now. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like being on the street and running that bag up and having nice shit and all of that type shit, oh man, that's when the influence of the money definitely gonna take over.
Trust me, I know. That's how I grew up. My cousins, his best friends, my daddy, my uncles. You know what I mean? Flyest motherfuckers there is. My main thing, bro, I got to be fly. The influence is real, 100%. But everybody ain't gonna feel the motherfucker that's influencing shit when y'all from the same community. 100%. That's all I'm trying to say is about that, bro. You know what I mean, motherfucker. He got all
my bad, my G's. I gotta make this phone call.
All right,
off top, bro.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. It's good to be back. You know what I mean? I'll be back in the rotation next week for sure.
All right.
Oh my mama,
my guys.
In a minute, big bro.
Peace.
Hell yeah, I think we just we just going certain areas at this shit. That's all. I think we saying the same type of shit, trying to nail the same point or not nail the same point. Pause, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with when it come down to it, it don't matter how much work you put in, fam. If there's a dude that's coming around the way and he got the bread, they gonna run behind him. That's just what it is. The only the power that you're gonna have is when it comes to jail, prison.
I don't agree with that because the motherfucker that put the work in, the motherfucker that only got the money, he's not comfortable around the motherfucker that put the work in. That's why he comes and pays him for security, bro. 100%.
He can buy a tough nigga.
But the tough nigga that's not from the community, he don't got no pull. And he can have the money, but once you
find somebody that's from the community that's tough and buy them,
and the price is gonna go up because you're not my peoples.
Well, he gonna pay him.
There it is, called extortion. 100%.
He gonna pay him.
Exactly.
Extortion. Call it extortion, but in his mind, it's like I could control what's going on over there.
No, you don't. Just because you got the money don't mean you control the community, bro. 100%. Them is facts.
I mean, initially you might not, but if them dudes come and they really bought, I'm telling you that money will really you
money don't make a square nigga real, bro.
No, I did that, but you have to be placed in that situation. I've seen this from behind the wall all the way to the street. That money changes things.
Yeah, and it's also going to like, that ain't never had.
I'm do that, this, that, and the third. When that money get involved, all of that stuff changes.
I know. I'm gonna tell you like this. So a nigga that ain't never had no money.
6ix9ine ain't the first type of person. That's not the first time I've seen that.
What you mean?
I've seen that plenty. The whole situation with 6ix9ine, I've seen that plenty of times.
So what does that mean?
What I'm saying is that the fact you see how that played out in the public, right? You see how it looked like 6ix9ine was kind of like controlling them dudes.
It didn't look to me like he was controlling them dudes. It like to me they seen that brother as lunch. He's feeding us right now. We need that money.
And you gonna do what I pay you to do.
No, you're not paying me to do, bro. They fucked up by allowing that dude to feel like he's the guy. He's calling in hits. He's calling in hits on TMZ.
What you think allowed that?
Is that?
What you think allowed that though? What you think allowed that?
The stupidity is of
the money allowed that.
The stupidity-ness of the money.
Them dudes, Mel Murder and all of them, they far from dumb.
I didn't say that they was dumb, but the stupidity of the money that's being bro, he called in a hit on fucking live camera. I got a 10-pack. I got a 20-pack on him live on camera. Don't nobody do no shit like that, bro.
Get that. The money allowed that.
Man, motherfuckers that don't got money gonna allow anything to happen, bro, because they ain't never had that type of money around them.
Yeah, that's why I say it controls. It controls.
Hey, I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro. On my mama. I definitely feel you.
I peep shit that go on in society, and I just look at it and I say, you know what? It's no point in me. It's no point in me sitting there, rah. This is what it is. That's what it is, I guess.
Bro.
I know what it's supposed to be, but that's what's going on, though. That's what's going on. You know what I mean? A nigga will pay, pardon my language, a dude will pay a dude, a real dude to go at another real dude because he has an issue with him. Them real dudes don't really have an issue with each other. But the dude with the money got an issue with one of them, and he'll pay, and this dude will do that. He'll do that.
What happens to the person that pays somebody to go do something, and the person that gets caught? What does he do? He tells that the person sent me because of some fucking money. Don't do nothing you shouldn't be doing that you can't do on your own.
But it happens.
Then you're stupid.
This is where we're at.
When the person gets caught, he gonna tell on you, and the person that paid the money is gonna get more time than the person that actually did the killing, bro.
And did that stop dudes from dropping bags on dudes' heads?
You're fucking stupid if you can't do nothing that you shouldn't be doing yourself.
But did that stop dudes? It's more dudes locked up now for doing exactly what you said than that's famous, that's out there.
If I can't do nothing if I can't do something that I'm not comfortable doing with myself, I'm not gonna pay you, bro. Only thing that I'm comfortable paying with somebody that I can't do is for my car, for my house, for anything like that. If I can't feel comfortable enough doing something, whatever it may be, I'm not going to do it, bro. 100%. Take it how you want to take it.
You preaching to the choir, right? Because I already know that. But the thing is, this is what's going on right now.
We got to do better, bro. We got to do better.
This
100%.
is what's going on right now.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one example. The case that's still pending. Never mind.
Don't
Because it fuels my fire and every.
Because we gonna talk off camera, but at the end of the day, this is I've been looking at what's going. I watch these things change. I watch certain things change because of money, because of clout, because of whatever. You know,
that's the whole stance.
I watch things change. So now I look at it. Oh, that's what they're doing now. I'm not sitting there arguing. Oh man, no, this is how it used to go. I know how I used to go. I grew up in that era. I know how I used to go. But that's what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing now. So what am I going to do? The only thing that I can do is give game. But I can't fight against what's happening as far as the changes. Like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
100%. And when they do what they do and they get caught for doing what they do, there's consequences to every action that you do. And you got to be held accountable for it. 100%. And there's no excuse of, oh, I didn't know. Once you get a certain age, you know right from wrong.
Now,
you choose to do wrong. And you're not gonna get no excuse for it. 100%.
Motherfuckers making jail look fun now. Niggas is in jail.
Well, I mean, you got to understand.
On, you know, they got they one dude I seen yesterday. He got his whole cell lined with commissary dudes wearing clothes on the street in there. They making jail so comfortable that it's like, all right, I go in there. I'm gonna be chilling anyway. You know what I'm saying? This is what's happening. Like, I'm not
have a bed for you right now.
Yeah.
You have to make a choice if you want to sleep in your bed or they bed. When you want to shower or when they want you to shower, bro. Once you get a certain age, ain't no more excuses, bro. And if you fuck up and you get a second chance, you better take that chance and run with it, bro, because you have the opportunity to make it again. And once you keep doing shit repetitive, ain't no excuses, bro. The thing, insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same consequence. I mean, expecting the same results.
I get that, but the drugs blur all the lines.
Huh?
The drugs blur all the lines.
I've been saying that. I've been telling you that. This whole conversation. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Clout is a hell of a drug. The camera is a hell of a drug, but you have the choice of taking that drug or not. I've been saying that, and it's all about choices. That's my thing.
Let me tell you something, man. Some people, I don't know if it's just something with our culture, with our people, or if it's just, you know, I don't know what it is. But I tell you this, like with some cats, it ain't no reforming. Some people just got to live that shit out, die or go to jail or survive. And hopefully they learn from it. And if they're not allowed to learn from it, then somebody else can learn from them. Some things are just not reformable now. You know what I mean? You try to, you know, you can teach them certain things, but you got to catch them before they get a little too seasoned.
No, and that's my thing is like, I'm because my blood is boiling. I love this shit. And I want to give the people everything about me. It's out there in the world. You know what I mean? If you go dig, you can go dig. But look though, bro. What the fuck was I finna say? We have the choice to evolve. You feel me? And like me, like the stuff that I've been through, I thank God. I thank Jesus Christ is my savior, bro. 100%. Even though people see me on camera drinking, smoking 100%, you know what I mean? I've been blessed to be able to have, you know, fight through certain stuff. You feel me? 100%. And, you know, we all go through hills, you know what I mean? 100%. And you have the choice to learn from the uphill battles. And then you also have the choice to learn from other people's experiences. You know what I mean? And I just found out what I was finna say. When we fuck up, especially us, even though I'm super lighter than you, bro, you know what we talk about. This is why we locked in. Even though I'm super lighter than you, I got the same struggles as you, right? 100%, right? We from the same shit, right? So when we fuck up, we really don't get second chances. So we don't have the ability to fuck up. So when motherfuckers continuously to fuck up, bro, it's a pattern. You don't get no excuses. You know, we barely get second chances in this life, especially when we trying to do good. You feel me? Because if we fuck up once, whether you go to the pen and you got everything on your record, or you get fired from your first job and they just want to ban you from, you know what I mean, because they got to call in for a resume. We don't get second chances. So my thing is look, even though we ain't perfect, we have the right to choose what we want to do and what not to do, bro. And once you first fuck up, okay, don't let that bring down your confidence, but just don't make it a pattern, bro. Learn from your mistakes. Lessons are blessings, even though everybody might not believe in what I believe in, but lessons become certain situations you can learn from, bro. That's my thing.
Like, like, you know how like they have dudes that come home from prison and like they talk to the youth and stuff like that, right? Like that worked back in the days. Now, man, them young dudes, they don't want to hear nothing from you if you ain't getting no type of money, you ain't got no type of motion.
Well, I disagree with that, because some of these dudes that come home that has actually bang bang boom boom with the pow pow, them dudes still get praise, and they don't even want to get praise from that. You feel me? Them dudes are sitting at the, you know what I mean? Because like I said, in every community, everybody plays a role, whether you're the money getter, whether you got the bitches.
That wears off.
So motherfuckers that have got the bang, bang, pow, pow up under their belt, when they come home, they praise. They ain't got no motherfucking money, but yet they didn't put the work in. So some of them motherfuckers
that wears off. That wears off, because once you gotta
no, it don't.
Once you got a gang of little homies that done did that already, they're doing it faster now. You know what I mean?
Talk about it in the music. That's what's trending in the music is bang bang pow pow. So if you know from that, whatever era you know from, your history don't go away.
Man, these young dudes don't give a damn about your body that you caught 10, 20 years ago, bro.
Well, I mean,
act like they care.
Where I'm from, that's always gonna stick 100%.
You think?
I know.
People act like they gonna care, and then in the back of their mind, they like,
well, I know. Never mind, bro. Hey, it's all good, bro.
They just not gonna tell you how they really feel, but when they having their little conversations with themselves, they like, man,
they don't gotta tell me I see it.
News, man.
They don't gotta tell me I see it on the gram and on these socials, bro. They praise Von.
Well, but Von is a young boy. Von was considered a young boy.
Bro, but it's because of what?
Yeah, he caught them.
What he did, right?
Getting money, and he lit, and he doing.
So if he was still living, his main work is not putting in money to get money for the squad. It's by putting in work for the squad. That candle don't never die out, bro. I don't care how old you is.
Yeah, but Von looked good doing it. That's the thing. He looked good doing it.
Oh my good! Come on,
telling you, he looked good doing it because listen, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? People get like, all right. So we talking about the youth in the neighborhood, right? We're not talking about the people that's not in the neighborhood, right? If like Von to another Chicago cat, Von is like, say for instance. To Melly, Von ain't no big deal to do like Melly or do like the dudes that's really putting that tool work in. They're not looking at him like on some, we praising him. The only people that's praising him is dudes that they ain't do that. Those are dudes that's praising him. Dudes that's not with that. They not outside like that. They get to live vicariously through him. You feel me? But other than that, but the dudes that's really putting that work in, they not looking at Von in that type of light. I remember Rico Reckless was on a podcast. He said, bro, this dude's walking around. He said the way these dudes look at Von, they don't look at Von like that in the shop. He was like, this dude's walking around with 3 times the amount of hats he got. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the people that's praising Von is the people that live vicariously through him, not the real people that be out there running around really slinging that iron. They not looking at Von in that type of light. That's why Von could go to Atlanta and you know, unfortunately get killed by a dude that you never heard of, because that dude was he's outside too. He don't look at Von in that light.
That's the thing, right? You proved my point for me, bro. The motherfucker that puts in the work is the dude.
Yeah, they not, but I'm saying the dudes that's putting in the work, they not looking at Von in that light. Von was praised by the people that was fans.
But what was the rumor? What was the rumor of him, whether he did it or not? And they said he would have been part of whatever else going on if he was alive, 100%. So whether the rumors is true or not, what was he praised for, bro?
Von was only praised for that once he became a rapper. Once he became a rapper, that he was praised for that. Before that,
I doubt that, because you got multiple stories of his multiple stories of his homies who are on camera saying Brad was like that.
Because they grew up with him.
Okay, so they know.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
But,
okay,
but look who you're talking about. Hold up.
What the ops say.
But look who you're talking about.
What the ops say, man. Fuck the ops.
No, we're not talking about ops. We're not talking about the shooters, bro. You're talking about dudes that was just in the clique. I'm talking about the dudes that was the gunmen in that clique. They're not looking at Von like that, because they like, yo, I do what he do. What are you talking about?
Look, I don't care what an op say. I speak.
I'm not talking about no ops. I'm talking about people that was in the same crew. McAdoo didn't look at Von like that.
Are they from that same era?
Yes.
Okay, well then he got his opinion in.
They didn't look at Von like that.
They got their opinion, bro. 100%. You know what I mean?
Having their opinion, they both put in work, and they not looking at Von like, oh, he's over me. Nigga, I'm doing the same thing.
Who said anything about being over anybody? The thing is, if you're known for doing that, fuck the money. That's what you're known for doing. The nigga with the money gotta come pay me, bro.
Yeah, when you say that youth looking up the Von, that only happened once he got into being a rapper.
That's what it is. He got the clout.
Because
he got the clout, bro. He got the rumors, of course.
This is the thing that people look at, the young boys look at. How did he catch all them bodies and then turn around and now he a rapper making millions of dollars?
He's beating cases. He's got not guilty before, bro. Are you fucking serious?
I know that. But I'm talking about all the there's all documentaries.
I gotta fire my weed up, bro. We've been doing this for too long, bro.
Yeah, we about to end this right now. This
everything, bro.
Documentaries.
That nigga has been not guilty.
Yeah, off of
two bodies.
Off of two.
Oh my goodness. Hey.
But they talking about the man got 10 hats.
I don't care if you got 1 or 10. You done did it.
Now, regardless of
I'm not praising him. Hey, let me stop. I don't want to talk about this no more, because we're giving them too much light. And I don't want to give that type of situation too much light, bro. Oh my God. Because I've been in this situation, whether the hot iron has touched me or I've been accused for this shit, bro. And my blood is boiling, bro, and I can't say too much.
But we're not asking you to talk about your situation.
But I'm saying I'm coming from experience, though, bro.
So what? So you want me to just agree with you because you coming from experience?
No. What I'm saying is that like we dancing in circles around this shit, bro. That's all that is.
Because what I'm saying is that the dude with the money has just as much influence with that paper. That's what you're not seeing here,
bro.
A dude that got hats got influence too, but a dude that got money got influence too.
So you're talking. Never mind, bro. Hey, I can't say no more. I can't say no more, especially on this. Because I got my discovery right here, bro. And everything you saying is in my discovery. 100%, bro. It's all good.
If the situation over with, then you might as well talk about it.
I just said it's still open. It's not over with.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then we leave that off air. So we talk about this.
Bro. Everything. Oh my goodness, bro.
Like I said, at the end of the day, bro, that's where it's at right now. I see it in so many different situations where dudes are going behind the dude with the money. There's dudes that's sitting there puppeteering the situation just because they have bread. Now, in certain situations, the money probably won't matter. But in the situation that they're in currently, it does. I've seen this shit so many times. Like it's not even funny, bro. Like I've seen it so many times.
And I've seen it so many times where the nigga that sends somebody go do something, he go down and he get more time than the motherfucker that did something, bro.
I mean, yeah, that happens.
100%. Don't do nothing that you can't do on your own. 100%.
That happens, but they still gonna put bags on people. It's still gonna go that way. It's still gonna go that way.
You gonna go sit down for doing something that you should have did on your own.
Yeah. That's what's happening.
That's the thing. Choices. 100%, bro. That's
because when you think about it, right? I told people, I said, yo, the situation that Dirk is in, if he move wrong, he's gonna go down. So the best thing he could do right now is chill out. Because if you try to do something, it's coming right back to you. Right?
And what is he accused of, though?
Murder for hire. Now look what I'm saying, right? I said if he try to do something, it's gonna come right back to him, right? Now, I said you better off running into that dude and having the confrontation, and then it just lead to y'all just bang it out. Then it's just you against him, and when it comes down to it, you see what I'm saying? It's just you against him. Your crew and his crew, y'all clash. It is what it is. You can't say nothing is premeditated and all this other shit. You know what I mean? That's the only way it could go down. If it's not gonna happen like that, and you decide to get behind the scenes and pull some strings, I'm telling you, it's gonna bite you. And he did exactly that.
100%. Thank you.
He did exactly that. He went and put the money on the nigga head, allegedly, and now he's locked up right now facing life. Exactly that.
And that's fucked up because it's another brother that came from nothing. Came from where you came from where I came from.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. I hate that, bro.
Yeah.
100%. He's taking care of not only his family, but other people's family.
But you got to think about this, though.
That's why the shit nice shit hurt me, bro.
But look,
he's my favorite artist.
But look, this is the thing that you got to think about with Dirk, right? Dirk worked hard to get in that position that he's in right now.
100%.
Because it's two things is right at the same time. He worked hard to get in a position where he's making money, could take care of his family, et cetera, right? But he also worked hard to get in the situation he in now. Because what was the point of you putting money on Von? You didn't know Von personally like that. Von was locked up when Dirk was popping. When Dirk first came out, Von was locked up. And he made Dirk not even from his hood.
But you know what though, big bro?
So this is my question. What was your whole point of bringing Von around? Von wouldn't even sign to your label.
My thing is like, right, you know, you meet people on the way that turn into your bros. We might not have grew up in the sandbox, but for some reason we on this grind together, and you know we locked in. You know what I mean? If we grind together and we getting it together 24/7 on that block or on this tube, and you know, bro, you
never knew Von. Never had no interaction with him because Von was in jail the entire time of the whole drill movement when it first started with Chief Keef. Von was locked up right after that. Right after Chief Keef blew, Von was in jail.
Yeah, but see, with Dirk, he didn't blow right off the rip neither though. Like you said, he put in his grind, so ain't no telling the type of bond that they built in so little time. You know what I mean? Not only did Dirk, and see, I understand.
Wanted them steppers around him, man. You could have got real security that's armed, that's trained.
You got choices, but and I hate to give excuses. You know, but huh?
He didn't want the consequences, of course not. Who does? But he worked hard to get in that position.
Right. That's how I led off. 100%.
Von came down to Atlanta with him. They caught a case for robbing another dude. Like how's y'all robbing another dude allegedly, but you already up? You know what I mean? Dirk couldn't control Von. That's the whole thing. You listen, there's certain cats in the street. Listen, they real to the bone, but they so deep into what they into that if you stand too close to them, you can jeopardize your whole situation.
Trust me, I know.
You could take a ride to the store with them, like, yo, come on, we going to the store. You walking, come on, man, jump in the car, and then that car gets shot at on the way to the store. That little short thing to the store, that car get bucked at.
Or even not even that. You get pulled over, somebody got that thing on or whatever, bro, and it's high. Look, bro, it don't even gotta be that. You know what I mean? Trust me, I know, but just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, trust me, I know 100%. But you got the choices. So if bruh was only just on some artist shit and CEO shit, then it shouldn't have been the buddy. Let's go do this robbery. Let's go do this and that. You know what I mean? 100%. And if you knew what bruh was into and he was locked up for a certain reason, you knew what the reason for was, you know what I mean? You chose to bring that around you.
Because he couldn't civilize Von, man.
Huh?
He couldn't civilize Von.
I didn't say he was trying to, though. I didn't say he was trying to. I didn't say that was his responsibility, but it was his choice to have him around him. It was his choice to allegedly do whatever they are accusing him of because he felt some type of loyalty to bruh, if that's what it really is. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but that's what he's being accused of. You know what I mean? By putting the chalupa on the head top. You know what I mean?
Let me say something. That one of our Achilles heel, and I'm gonna end it after this, right? One of our Achilles heel as Black folks is that it's not too much that we wouldn't do for money. I've watched. This is a common denominator that I have watched in many situations. There is not a lot that we won't do for some paper. So the type of power that you think money don't have over a homie's status or work that he put in and all that, all of that will get challenged if the right amount of money is on the table, bro. All of that will get challenged.
Morals over money. Shout out to Munchie B. We gotta be smart.
Yeah, it's morals over money. That's how it should be. But there's a difference between how it should be and how it is right now.
And what is that called? Making a choice.
Yeah.
And guess what I've been saying this whole time? You got the choice to do this or that.
Bread.
Okay, well, look, you have the choice.
Especially if a homie is a respectable homie. Oh, they definitely choosing the money. If he a real one, they definitely choosing the money.
100%.
Going with the home, because think about it. If you had the way out between Nip and Big U, right? You a young boy, right? You was never around for none of that stuff that Big U did. So all you hearing is stories. But you got the homie that's a little bit older than you. He's not as old. He's not as OG, but he's a little older than you. And you watched him go through situations. You watch things play out with him, right? Then you got your little homies and shit right there, right? So now you see the dude that you tap in with every now and again. That's your big bro. You know what I'm saying? He running up a crazy bag. You know what I'm saying? And then every time he pull up on him, it's always good energy. You feel me? And this dude ain't got no dirt on his name either. Who you think gonna have more influence when it comes to the young boys? The dude with the bread, because they both real. One probably got a lot more history than the other homie.
Bread don't make you real, bro.
No, I ain't say bread mean you real. You reading it wrong. I said you have two real dudes. You got one dude with more history in the streets, and then you got another dude. He got some history, but he went and got to that bag. But he's still a stand-up dude. He ain't never told on nobody. He ain't never did no bullshit.
I understand that.
Who you think the youth gonna pick when it come down to it? You think they're gonna pick the OG where his chips is down, or you think they're gonna roll with the dude that got the bread that's a real one?
I definitely understand that, but also if the dude
niggas want to have motion now, they don't want to be the tough nigga that's broke. They don't want to be that guy. They want to be tough and have that bread.
100%. Definitely, I understand.
They want to feel powerful in both arenas. They don't just want to, because you know what? Being a real dude is a personal thing. This dude's is riding out life sentences right now for standing on certain principles, right? And then there's people that's looking at that dude and saying, man, ain't no way in hell I'm doing no damn life sentence. You crazy. What he doing life for? I've heard niggas had this conversation. What he doing life for? Oh, man, listen, you know, he got caught up in the situation and he, you know, he didn't give up no info. You know what I'm saying? And certain things, you know, made him look a certain way in the case. So, you know what I mean? He gotta get his life back through the appeal process now. You know what I'm saying? And the dude looking like, man, I ain't sitting down for no life. So get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. That's one, because he's standing on it. He like, nigga, that's one life. He's like, that's one life. He's like, what the fuck I'm gonna tell my kids, nigga? What am I gonna tell my kids? I try to keep it real. This is getting challenged right now. You know what I mean? This is why when every time you see like a dude that done told on somebody and they go on social media or they come out in the entertainment, you know, social media thing, they go up. This is why they go up, because the social media and all that is mostly made up of civilians. There's some street dudes on there, you know what I'm saying? But it's mostly made up of civilians. Civilian is never gonna side with going to do a life sentence. They're never gonna feel like that. Even if they did do what they was accused of, they still not gonna feel like that. There's zero understanding when it comes to the online. There's zero understanding with that. You know how many times I'll go and I see a dude like what's homeboy name from Atlanta, the bald head dude with the Young Thug situation,
Woody.
I'll look under his comments. You know what I'm saying? I'll look under like like he'll have a video of him doing something, and I'll read the comments. I'll read these comments, and the majority of those comments, like, yeah, I ain't doing no 15 to hell no. Then there was a dude, K Flock, one of K Flock co-defendants. He caught a 30 piece because he didn't want to say nothing in the feds, right? He said, I guess I'll be doing 30. Yo, you should see the comments. Man, that dude's stupid as hell. Ain't no way in hell. What you mean 30? Yo, every other comment was like that. You know what I mean? So the things that dudes stand by in the street, the rules and parameters and shit that niggas came up under, they're being challenged every day now. Back then, there was no challenging it. You even speak like you're trying to challenge and man, you're gonna get checked. You know what I'm saying? Now it's being challenged on a daily. So when dudes get into a situation and that option is presented to them to go bad, they looking at, well, not every dudes that go bad now, they ain't really nothing happening to them. They actually going up. If they get caught up in the right case with you know that's publicized, they going up. They not getting no consequences for being that type, for going bad now. You know what I mean? And that's what's making a lot of dudes take that route. If you don't take that route, it has to be because that's in you to stand on business in that way. It's a personal thing with you. You know what I mean? You know, that's what it is now, man. You know what I mean? You know, just like money over morals. You know how many dudes in my city didn't agree with that 6ix9ine shit? But the thing is, I told my man, I said, yo, listen. I told my man from the block, I said, yo, listen. The 6ix9ine situation been going on even behind the wall. Because you know that this punk ass dudes that you let slide, that dudes let slide because they got the bag. You know that shit. You know that. You know that. You see what I'm saying? He like, yeah. Facts. 6ix9ine, that 6ix9ine ain't the first time that ever happened. That's the first time it ever went public, and it's for everybody to see it from our city. But that bullshit's been going on in our city. It's been punk ass niggas pulling strings because they got bread and making real dudes clash with each other and causing a whole type of wars and all that because of their money. You know what I mean? And it's got worse now because everybody want a piece of the pie now. I don't want to be the real dude that's broke no more. That's standing on principles. Because you know what? When them dudes go to jail, they don't get no damn support. Nobody give a damn about them. And in a lot of cases, that be facts. They go to jail. You give their support system maybe by 1 or 2 years. By the time 5 years pass, more than half their support system gone. You know what I'm saying? They ain't keeping up with nah. So that's why they looking like, yo, ain't no benefit in doing that unless it's just in you to be solid. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's happening right now. You feel me? That's why everything is being challenged.
Choices, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because look, they looking like, okay, I could be a dude like I could be okay. I could be a dude like C Murder, or I could be a dude like Woody. Who you think they're gonna pick?
You got choices. And if you choose to do whatever that chose you to be in the consequence of having to sit down, bro, that's on you. And then when you get out and you are acceptable of telling to get out of your situation, choices, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Ain't gonna be no consequences.
What you mean ain't no? Yes, it is consequences.
No, not.
Yes, it is, because you still got to sit down.
What you mean? You talking about behind the wall?
Yeah.
Man, they gonna go to a dropout yard. That's all that is. They gonna go to a dropout yard. And when they come home, they gonna mix right in the neighborhood. This dude's that, okay, yeah, I told, but I'm a killer. So what you gonna do about it?
100%. Hey.
You ain't gonna step high step, then you might as well step off. And there's a reason why a lot of dudes that told is running around the neighborhood. Is either they a stepper or they got paper and they got opportunities.
Hey, look, bruh.
That's what's the challenge now.
All choices, 100%. That's been my whole thing. Whether you gonna do something that you feel comfortable doing with yourself, or you don't feel comfortable doing with yourself, and you gonna pay somebody to go do it. It's all choices, bruh. 100%. That's been my whole stance.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, a lot of things that we grew up on are being challenged on the daily. If you think money don't have, this is not the 90s. Money has way more influence than it does now, because people see what money can really, really do.
What just the way that you define happiness. If you will bite the hook for the money, then you deserve to do whatever it is. You know what I mean? If you gonna do anything for the money, all money ain't good money, bro. 100%.
This ain't living by that now these days.
Okay. Well,
hey, giving a damn.
I'm not gonna do morals over money, bro. 100%.
I mean, yeah, we have
that in my life. I'm comfortable, bro. I don't need the extras to go get the money like that, to be in front of this camera and for the social media to give me approval because I got this and that and that. That's not where I'm at. And if that's where you're at in your life and you're gonna do anything for the money, I understand it. Hey, that's your choice.
Check this out, right? When you look, prime example I was talking about, this is back then. We just talked about it earlier. Suge Knight. Suge Knight wasn't, people were saying, like, yeah, he didn't grow up a certain type of way, this, that, and the third, but he had that bag. And with that bag, he was able to get some of the most dangerous dudes on his team and cause a whole bunch of shit going on in the neighborhood because he had that bag.
And where did he lead the people? In 6 feet,
eventually,
behind bars.
Yeah, they crashed out.
Okay, then. So I don't know what we're talking about, really, bro.
They crashed out.
I really don't know what we're talking about. 100%.
Because what I'm talking about is that you downplay the amount of influence that some paper can have, and I'm telling you, it's way worse than it was back then.
Okay, but the paper you just said what Suge Knight did. The paper crashed people out to death or to the penitentiary, bro. Is that what we want to do? No, we don't want to do that. But you have the choice to follow that or not follow that, and that's what I've been saying this whole hour.
But that was my whole point. People followed it and they died behind it.
I've been saying that since we started.
All
You
right.
have the choice.
All right. They made that choice.
There it is there.
They made that choice.
Oh, my mama.
They had dudes that, and before the dude, because I already know about the dude that fell out with Suge and all that and caused that, and that popped off that whole situation. Before that popped off, he was with Suge too. Suge was tied in with Mob and Ludacris Park.
That's what I said. I've been saying that.
All right, so they all was rocking with him.
And
They
where did
all
he
was
lead?
rocking with him.
And where did he lead them?
Where did who lead who?
Where did Suge Knight lead his people?
I mean, he led him to the graveyard. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't hear you say it again.
I say he led him to the graveyard. You know what I mean? Now, don't get it twisted. Some of them was already penitentiary bound by the way they was moving. You know what I'm saying?
He condoned it
Yeah.
under his leadership.
Yep.
That's not the people you want around you when you run into business, right?
What's up?
That's not the people you want around you when you run into business.
What are you talking about?
If
Suge?
you're-
Are you talking about the dudes that he was around?
The dudes that he chose to have around
Yeah.
and lead them down the pathway. If you're trying to run a legitimate business, do you want people around you that's trying to run a legitimate business, or do you want people that's not on you that can also cause the demise to your legitimate business?
I mean, of course, that's not what the hell I want.
Choices.
Real
That's
security.
all I've been saying. Choices. Of course, you want the choice of not to have them around you. He chose to have them around him, and further, what they was doing. Choices.
Yeah, but but that my whole point was the money having more influence. I know what the repercussions of it is, but the money still having a lot of influence and more now than ever.
You can't bite the apple.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't bite the apple.
There it is. There.
But
And
look,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
not where
You
it
have
is.
the choice of biting the apple or not, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, and
That's what I've been trying to trying to say,
Yeah.
bro.
I get that, but the thing is, they bite the apple. They get out from their situation. They get out from up under whatever situation they in.
Not every
They don't bite
situation.
the apple, they got to grind it out.
100% right.
Some people don't want to grind it out. They want to skip the line.
100%. Trust me, I know. We see. We
They don't want to go back to eating red beans
and they give us content every day. 100%.
They don't want to go back to eating red beans and rice. They don't want no ramen noodles no more. They want Chick-fil-A every other day. They want Ruth Chris for lunch, Maestro's for dinner.
And you got the choice of making that to go get that.
Yeah. But they don't want to wait. Some people don't want to wait 10, 20 years. Some people look at it like, bro, I don't feel like I even got it in me to go get that. But if this opportunity come, I'm going to take it.
And you got the choice of making that opportunity or not. 100%.
So that's the thing. Like, it's like people are standing lesser and lesser on principles if it's not beneficial to them monetarily. You know
Don't bite the apple. That's the thing. Don't bite the apple. Stay 10 toes on what you believe in.
For sure. I mean, yeah, we know that. But at the end of the day, this is what's happening. This is why we deal with a lot of who told them young boys that it was cool to get online and speak about your exploits in the street. Who told them that was cool? Because they know OGs. I don't think no OGs told them that shit was cool.
Shout out to my OGs.
So who told them that was cool? Who went against that? That was already established. Certain OGs in the hood, they didn't even want to take pictures.
I said about an hour ago, we got grams. We don't want to be on the Instagram. That's a Hove bar.
All right. But at the end of the day, who told them that was cool? They watched the young boys from Chicago do it. And the whole country followed behind that. You see what I'm saying?
I can't blame it on the Chicago.
Yo, I'm just saying, Chicago been doing Chicago.
The gangster shit has been going on for a long time.
But Chicago Cats was the first ones going online talking about their exploits in the street.
I think we could pull up a lot of old stuff, and it's still stuff around in every city around that time where they was talking about that stuff in any city.
Yeah, but you got to understand. I'm not saying that it didn't happen in every other city. I'm talking about the common denominator. I'm never talking about everything else. I'm talking about the common denominator. Chicago got put on Front Street for that. For that. You know what I mean? There's whole YouTube pages behind just Chicago tweets from dudes that's locked up right now for murders they were talking about on there.
Trust me, I know. I got it. It's motherfuckers that's been documenting my city like that too, bro. It's just not as famous, but it's been going on that long in my city too. And then you can go back to when they was doing it, and when it boomed off, and you can go pull up the shit for my shit, bro.
Once it hit, because every city been doing that, but once it hits mainstream, right now it's like everybody gonna fall in with that now. Oh, we've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna fall in line with that now. The ones that wasn't doing it, now they gonna fall in line because it's cool now. It's the thing now.
It's the only way to get on. It's the only way to get on. That's how they feel.
All right. So that has been challenged to where now everybody is going against the stay off the internet type. Everybody's going against that. A lot of people are going against that. That's why a lot of dudes are going to jail. Right? So what else is going to be challenged? You know what I'm saying? The stigma of a dude being a turncoat, a rat, whatever you want to call him, right? That's being challenged because there ain't no stigma really with him no more. He lit now. And dudes want to get opportunities from him too. Trey D talked about a situation where a dude that he knew of came home and he did bad. And they threw a welcome home party for him. And he was like, what? Yeah. It gets challenged now. So that's why I say my whole point of the beginning of us doing this debate was the fact that the money has way more influence now than what you think, because now you have to really be that in order for you to stand on certain things. That has to be in your heart. Back then, dudes would not tell because they knew that there would be consequences behind it. But once the consequences get removed, are they still gonna stand solid? You feel me? Are they still gonna be solid once the consequences is not there no more? Because remember back then,
what consequences are you talking about?
Listen, back then it was a strict rule, right?
What consequences are you talking about, though, bro? Let's define that.
If you tell on somebody and you moving and they either packing you up, getting you up out of there, like making you move, or they put one in your head. That's not going on no more. So my thing is, dudes back then, you was forced to be real back then. Because that was the bottom line right there. You had to stand on certain principles, even if you ain't want.
But if me and you do something, this is a hypothetical. If me and you do something together, right? And one of us get caught, and I tell on you or you tell on me, we both sitting down no matter how long the thing is for. And the main thing is that we did something. So my thing is you got the choice whether to do this or not. And no matter what, the consequences is going to be life or death, or sitting down for 30 days because you didn't told, or 30 years because you didn't told.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Mm-hmm. For real. That's what it is, man. You know what I mean? But all I say is,
you know, like you said, the money does have the influence, and I'm not trying to debate that. But my thing is 100%. You got the choice to bite the apple or not, take this money or not, bro. Whether you want to advance your shit warp speed or not. You know, if you want to go do something that you got to go do to advance your shit, and you know you ain't supposed to be doing this, and the repercussions and the consequences is either sitting down, or you might catch karma today, tomorrow, whatever it is, bro. That's on you, 100%.
Yeah, it's just like I said. I'm gonna just say this and say this, man. You got to be careful of the money because the money got a way stronger influence than it used to have. You know what I mean? There's no once the consequences get removed from you going bad and stuff like that, it doesn't look as bad now. When they look at dudes like Woody and the 6ix9ines and etc., the Gunners and the Rollos and everybody who got pinned down for and they still out here lit. It's like, well, what's the real consequences? Them dudes seem like they ain't missed a beat.
But
you see what I'm saying?
Dudes had to go sit down though. 6ix9ine had to go sit down. Woody, whatever Woody did, he didn't want to go sit down because of the choices that he made. So he furthered the information. No matter what, you didn't make that choice, and you still got to go sit down.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. All I say is this, right? And I'm gonna end this because my computer about to die. But all I'm gonna say is this, right? If you're gonna if you're gonna stand on certain morals and principles, it's a personal thing. And if you solid on street principles and street rules that you came up under, get out the streets because that ain't the lane for that no more.
That's where I was gonna go, bro. 100%.
You're like a dinosaur, and in an era where there's humans around now. You know what I mean? And it can be a disadvantage to a certain degree to be a stand-up dude in the streets now. If you don't know how to move and adjust with all the different things that's being challenged and changing and things like that, you can definitely be at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? So if you stand up and you solid like a rock, get out the streets and get into the legal lane to where you ain't got to worry about none of that anyway. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about that. Straight up.
Hey, man, I agree.
That's the advice that I could give, you know what I'm saying, from dudes that suck, because there's still young boys that's solid too.
100%.
Put yourself in a different lane because you're at a disadvantage. You dealing with dudes that are told and is killers and got money. How do you go up against that? When you get a chance, anybody can check it out. But when you get a chance, go look up not Finesse 2 Time. What's the other dude from
Who Shicey?
No, he's not from Memphis. He's from Alabama.
The blood nigga. Language. Finna take his. They did something to his grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
The guy he was beefing with had a lot of money and was an informant. How do you fight against that?
Right. What is Brad's name?
Matter of fact, we're gonna check him out.
Damn, what is dude's name?
I have to find him right now.
Fat Boy. B Brazy. His name is something with a blood. So he's repping his colors.
I'm about to find him right now.
What's that boy's name?
Why they don't have him down as not OMB Peasy?
No. He's from the Bay. He from the South, but he be in the Bay. He from the Bay. E40 co-sign OMB Peasy. He be in SAC too.
Where is this dude at, man?
Honeycomb Brazy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You check him out. Look at his story. You know what I'm saying?
He has a recording studio in the penitentiary.
I mean, you got to get it wherever you at.
He had PlayStation 5 and everything in that motherfucker.
How do you win against somebody like who he was beefing with? How do you win against that? Dude got money and he's a rat. You know what I mean? And he a killer. How the hell do you beat that without getting exactly on his level? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, with that, tell them where they could catch you at, bro.
Man, Hard to Start podcast, man, 100%. You know what I mean? We do shit like this, what we just did all the time. You know what I mean? 100%. You know what I mean? You know, it's just a elevation of conversation. You know what I mean? And just to get the people thinking. You know what I mean? And we do this all the time. You can catch me on the Fans Perspective Hard to Start podcast on the Gen Wealth Neff. You know what I mean? We pushing this content, man, 100%.
For sure, man. You catch me on the Fans Perspective on YouTube, Boogie Vision on Instagram, you know. And yeah, we're gonna be out here, man. We're gonna, continue dropping this content, man.
100%.
Peace.
It's done.